Welcome to the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I am your host, Orion. I got a great show for you here tonight. It's Friday night, and what is better on Friday night than Friday night baseball? We got the Seattle Mariners versus the Los Angeles Angels, our rival. Got to get this win with Brian Wu on the mound. First pitch is going to be here in just a couple minutes, so let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Friday, everyone. Left, the best center fielder in the game, it's Julio Rodriguez. And on the right, the Angels staple. You know, he may not be the same player as he was a few years back, but still puts on a show more times than not against the Seattle Mariners, and it is future Hall of Famer Mike Trout. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at DH, Rob Refsnyder. Now, he is 0 for 8. I don't know if he needs to go 0 for 30 before they decide to put Brendan Donovan at the leadoff spot every single game, regardless if it's a lefty or a righty. I think this is a mistake by putting Refsnyder at leadoff. If you want him to play, against a pitcher that is left-handed, that's fine, but he should not be leading off. A big concern for Mariner fans, not only myself, but we'll see how he does here tonight. Batting second, catching for Seattle, it's the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting third, it's center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Batting fifth, playing left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting sixth, playing third base, who's got a hit in every single game that he's played in. This is the man. This is the modern day Ichiro Suzuki for our Seattle Mariners, the best leadoff hitter we've had since Ichiro. Put him back at leadoff, but he's batting sixth tonight, Brendan Donovan. Batting seventh, playing shortstop. Welcome back to the team. You had some minor injuries and you're finally making your 2026 debut. Leo Rivas filled in nicely, but we're excited to see what you can bring. J.P. Crawford. Batting eighth, playing right field, Victor Robles. And batting ninth, Mr. Consistency with Brendan Donovan. He has been amazing offensively and defensively. Cole Young.
Hey, did you find the manual?
Yes, of course.
And now let's get into the starting lineups here for the home Los Angeles Angels. Leading off for the Angels at shortstop, Zach Neto. Batting second, playing center field, Mike Trout. Batting third, playing first base, Nolan Shonowell. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, DHing for Los Angeles, Jorge Soler. Batting fifth, playing third base, Yoan Moncada. Batting sixth, playing right field, Joe Adele. Batting seventh, formerly of the Tampa Bay Rays, new left fielder for the Angels this season, Josh Lowe. Batting eighth, catching today for Los Angeles, Logan O'Hoppe. And batting ninth, the former New York Yankee, now Los Angeles Angels, second baseman Oswald Peraza. And on the mound for the Angels, with a 0-0 record, ERA of 5.79, Reed Detmers. And on the mound for the Mariners with a 0-0 record so far, ERA of 3, it's our guy, our ace, it is Brian Wu. We're going to be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. And shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Logan in the building. What's good? Go Mariners. Let's get it done. Brian Wu on the mound. Again, we need to be able to be consistent on the road. To start off the season 3-4 like the Angels isn't ideal. But again, we know that, again, if we can get the batting order correct, that's the first step. And if starting pitching can be, it's been pretty electric. And we've had a few guys, specifically Logan Gilbert, that have kind of shit the bed. Let's be honest, right? We didn't expect Logan Gilbert to be this bad early on, but Kirby's been good. Wu's been overall been good. And then obviously Emerson Hancock and Luis Castillo have been phenomenal. Bullpen has been a little shaky as well, but it's expected, obviously in a brand new season. And definitely can't wait to be able to see what we get here tonight. Roy in the building. What's good? Marine Bean in the building. What's good? And again, like I was talking about in previous broadcasts, if you're having a hard time, with guys getting on base, Rob Refsnyder already 0 for 8. I mean, how many times does he have to, go 0 for whatever before they decide to put Donovan as the leadoff guy? And again, we also talked about maybe move Cole up to second. You definitely want the bottom end of the order to be good. And obviously, if you ended up having Cole at the 9 and you ended the game with 9-1-2, and then you got Donovan at the top, then that works, right? But again, you want to make sure you're getting guys possibly that extra at bat. Some guys are going to get 4 at bats. Some guys on a slow night might only get 3. But if you end up batting typically 1, 2, or 3, sometimes you'll end up batting 5 times, right? And that works if guys are hitting. But if Rob Refsnyder hasn't even got a hit yet, on top of Cal Raleigh, Julio, and Naylor in the 2, 3, and 4, they're struggling. How are you going to manufacture runs early in the year, if those 4 guys really aren't going just yet? And then Randy's been pretty good, taking some walks, getting hits here or there. Brendan Donovan and Cole Young have been our best hitters, no doubt. Now we're bringing JP Crawford in his first game. We don't know how he's going to look. More times than not, we would probably predict he's not going to be very good to start off, and hopefully he'll get better as the season goes on. But he also knows that he's looking over his shoulder, because at some point Colt Emerson is going to get the call up, and when that happens, he's going to take JP's job. So JP knows this is his last year, on contract. Realistically, maybe the last year with the Mariners, since we do, have Colt Emerson waiting in the wings, and we gave him that big minor league deal, major league deal with the money already. And again, I feel that, Colt Emerson could definitely give us a pop in the bat, but also help us out defensively, like Cole Young has shown that he can do. And obviously the second year in the bigs. And again, we just need a little bit more consistency. And again, Brendan Donovan, no matter what, should be leading off. I mean, imagine Ichiro, batting 6th. It would never happen. Hell, they wouldn't even put Ichiro number 2 or number 3. Now, could they? Of course they could. But again, if we want to be able to get to the, World Series and not only get there, for the very first time and win it all, you got to be able to have some consistency, but also you have to be able to pivot, and you have to be able to adjust. And if you're not willing to adjust and you're just going to put guys where they normally play, and then you just hope that they can break out of the slump, that's going to turn into a lot of extra L's. If we want to be able to get to 90 to 95 wins, you can't do that. So again, I don't really know how long this Rob Refsnyder, experiment is going to be. If you want him to play, fine. You have him lower in the lineup, 6, 7, 8, 9. You definitely don't have him leading off. And again, he's supposed to rake righties. Well, he hasn't been able to prove it yet. He's 0 for 8. And I know that's still low numbers, but again, I've seen enough, and again, for me, send Refsnyder back to AAA. Let's bring up Colt Emerson. We already sent Ryan Bliss down for JP Crawford. And again, I know the whole idea is that we signed the guy in the offseason because he quote unquote raked when he was on the Red Sox, against obviously lefties. He can't really hit righties very well. But if you come into the game and you can't even hit lefties, why are we even playing you? There's no point. We have other guys like Dominic Canzone and Luke Raley and these other individuals that, hey, statistically speaking, they say, well, we don't really want to have lefties go against lefties because percentages say that those guys aren't going to get a hit. But if you get a guy that is a righty against a lefty, like tonight with Refsnyder against Reed Detmers, and he's 0 for 8, who do you trust more? A lefty on lefty, Dominic Canzone versus Reed Detmers, or a Luke Raley versus a Reed Detmers? Or would you rather have Rob Refsnyder lead off? And I don't think anybody is happy with the way that the lineup is structured. And again, they definitely need to figure out, some type of alternative, either moving Donovan as the leadoff guy every single game. And if you're not going to do that, maybe move Cole Young to the leadoff spot to be able to spark us, and then if you want to put Refsnyder lower in the lineup, so be it. But to me, Donovan should be the one. Bring up Cole Young to the 2, slide everybody down a spot until they get better. And then once, Julio and Cal and Naylor and Randy are raking, then you can move Cole down to the bottom of the order to give us a little pop, wherever it may be in the 7, 8, or 9 hole. Again, and these little minor adjustments are huge. And again, right now the game is delayed. They're on commercial break because this is the Angels home opener. So obviously they're doing a celebration for, Mike Trout and all of the Angel fans. So I'm not just talking just to talk right now. The game is delayed as they're doing this opening celebration at home. And obviously once we get into first pitch, we'll be on it immediately. But something that is getting to a point where, you get a guy as good as Brendan Donovan and you've seen Cole Young do his thing. It's not going to hurt by leaving Donovan as a leadoff hitter. And again, if he's been able to manufacture a hit in every game, you're telling me you don't want that leading off, even if it's against a lefty, compared to a guy that's 0 for 8 on the season, in Rob Refsnyder. And again, I hope Rob gets better. I really truly do, but we don't really have an attachment to him. We just got him in the off season. He only can play against lefties. And so far he hasn't proven that he can hit against a lefty. So why the fuck are we still playing him? And if you're still so loyal to Rob Refsnyder, slide him down in the lineup in 7, 8, 9. There's no point of him wasting an extra at bat. But I know that once they go from a lefty to a righty, Rob might only get 2 at bats. And then they can replace him and they can put in someone like, Dominic Canzone or Luke Raley. And that's fine. But if we want to maximize every single at-bat, you got to be able to put your best players on where they're going to be suited the best. And that's Brendan Donovan at the 1, our modern-day Ichiro in 2026 for the Seattle Mariners. And then obviously, if you want to keep Cole Young at the bottom of the order, fine. Slide Rob Refsnyder all the way down in the bottom of the order as well. There's just no point. And again, if it's me, I would send him to AAA. I don't think he's good enough to be on this team, especially when we got a guy like Colt Emerson that we know that can play offense and defense. The Mariner organization has said, this is JP Crawford's, moment, obviously in this last year. But again, do we really think that JP Crawford is going to outplay Colt Emerson when he gets called up? I don't think so. Again, they feel, Colt Emerson could be the, modern day Corbin Carroll as an infielder. And we definitely need that with our bats struggling a little bit. Looks like we're just about to get ready here in just a moment. And again, my rant is over, but again, I know I'm not the only person that, when you check social media on Twitter/X or Instagram or Facebook, and then you see Refsnyder leading off, it just makes me want to pull my hair out, and again, even if he had a hit or 2 at this point and he wasn't 0 for 8, you should always have Brendan Donovan leading off. And again, I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure that out. I mean, you could be a casual baseball fan and understand that that's the right move. And I don't know, how long Dan Wilson is going to go with this Rob Refsnyder experiment. But again, I don't even think he's good enough to be on the team. I would send him down to AAA, have him work with Ryan Bliss and a few of the other guys. If he ends up starting to rake, against AAA pitching, obviously for lefties, and he starts to hit, then call him back up. But there's just no point on, playing him. And then again, if you're going to keep him on the roster, bench him. There's no point, again, yeah, he was good in Boston, but guess what? He's not in Boston anymore. We got to figure it out. We got to maximize every win. We're 1 game below 500. We're 3-4. We have the same record as the Angels. We're much better than them. But again, we have to go out and prove it. And again, it's not just about the players. It's about managing the players and putting them in the best position to succeed and win, just like any other big company or job. You have to have a good owner. You have to have good managers. You have to be able to have the right people to put the talent in the right spot to succeed. And honestly, I don't really feel that we've done that up to this point. Yeah, Logan Gilbert's been shitty. Yeah, the bullpen with Gabe Spire and a few others at times has been shitty. A lot of the guys that we expect to, start off hot or at least average, have not been able to do that in Julio and Cal and Naylor and a few others, right? So you got to be able to pivot. You got to be able to adjust. to your surroundings. And, hopefully they'll be able to, listen to social media, listen to, the other people that are in the organization and realize, this Ref Snyder experiment was a fail. Again, you had hopes that it was going to work out. I know 0 for 8 is a small sample, but just the way that his body language, and if you watch him, he doesn't seem like a guy that's confident that he's going to get a hit in the box. And I understand baseball is extremely hard. I get that, right? But again, when you got a guy that's proven that he can get a hit in every single game, only someone like an Ichiro Suzuki back in the day on Seattle could do the same. You keep him there. They would never move Ichiro to the 6 hole under any circumstance. So why are we doing it with Brendan Donovan? Treat Brendan Donovan like Ichiro Suzuki and the wins will start piling up. Have him lead off and that will get it done. Small ball, we need to do that as well. And again, hopefully we'll get a couple bunts down, couple home runs. We know Mike Trout really ends up giving the Mariners the beat down, typically in Seattle, but also in Los Angeles. When he plays Seattle, he ends up bringing his A game, and there's no doubt about that. There's probably a very good chance in this 3-game set before we play the Rangers that he'll probably homer at least once. He might end up getting a couple singles, a couple doubles, but I'm hoping that we can limit his, damage, and hopefully we can end up getting some dubs. Hopefully 2 out of 3. Best case scenario that we sweep. But again, until the pitching and the bullpen and the hitting, we can't really talk about sweeps against anybody. Good team, bad team. Again, we need to be able to prove that we can win games before we even talk about sweeps, even against the worst team in baseball. Not saying that the Angels are. They got the same record as us. And hopefully we can get, a good dub here tonight. And obviously we got games on Saturday and Sunday against the Angels as well. Celebration is still continuing, obviously here. And obviously we're on a commercial break. And hopefully they'll be able to wrap that up. And once that is all wrapped up, hopefully we'll be able to get into first pitch here in a couple minutes. Roy in the building, what's good? Miles in the building, what's good? Gamer in the building, what's good? They're doing a Angels celebration, first game at home for the fans, so that's why it's delayed. Ashley in the building, what's good? Yeah, and anytime you end up having, your home opener, if you were on the road, they do want to make it a little bit of a celebration for the fans, and that's what's going on right now here, obviously, in Los Angeles. So we should be able to get going as soon as they wrap up, saluting all the players that are on the roster, Mike Trout and everyone else. And again, hopefully first pitch will be here in just a few minutes. And it wasn't something that was discussed, that this game was going to be delayed. They could have started the celebration process, much earlier, but for whatever reason, they waited until first pitch time to start the celebration. Not ideal, obviously, if you're a Mariner fan or a baseball fan in general. But again, they got Wu taking some warm-up pitches here on MLB TV, on Mariners TV. And again, we should be getting going here in just a moment. Orange in the building, what's good? Cool Kid in the building, what's good? And we got Brian Wu on the mound, as well as Reed Detmers on the other side. And I guess if the celebration process is still starting to wrap up, I'll go through the starting lineups here one more time if you're just coming into the room. On the thumb, we got Julio Rodriguez, best center fielder in the game, and Mike Trout, who used to be the best center fielder in the game. A little bit of passing the torch. Let's go into the starting lineups here one more time as we're waiting for the game to start. Leading off for the Mariners at DH, Rob Refsnyder. Batting second, catching today for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting third, playing center field, it's Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman, Josh Naylor. Batting fifth, playing left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting sixth, playing third base, Brendan Donovan. Donnie, you're the man. Batting seventh, welcome to the team. You're back from injury. You had a little stint with AAA, Tacoma Rainiers. Welcome to the Seattle Mariners in 2026 in his first game, J.P. Crawford. Batting eighth, playing right field, Victor Robles. And batting ninth, who's been the second best player on the team besides Brendan Donovan, a guy that's been playing spectacular on offense and defense. He's actually ranked number one out of second baseman based on, preventing runs from being scored. I go to all these nerd websites, and again, he's been playing, some of the best defense out of any second baseman we've seen in a long time. In the 9-hole, Cole Young, you're the man. And on the mound for the Mariners, 0-0 record, ERA of 3, Brian Wu. And now let's get into the starting lineup for the home Los Angeles Angels. Leading off for the Angels at shortstop, Zach Neto. Batting second, playing center field, Mike Trout. Batting third, playing first base, Nolan Shonowell. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, DHing for Los Angeles, Jorge Soler. Batting fifth, playing third base, Yoan Moncada. Batting sixth, playing right field, Joe Adele. Batting seventh from the Tampa Bay Rays, left fielder, Josh Lowe. Batting eighth, catching today for the Angels, Logan Ohapi. And batting ninth, the former Yankee, now Angel, second baseman in the 9-hole, Oswald Peraza. And on the mound for the Angels, 0-0 record with an ERA of 5.79, Reed Detmers. Tridents up. Let's go, M's. We're going to be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. We just hit 23,600, so the next goal is 23,700. We've gained 3 subs since the beginning of the broadcast. Thank you so much. And now we only need 96 to go to get to 23,700. Let's get it, baby. Yeah, there's a few guys that are definitely overdue, for home runs. Julio, Cal, Naylor, Randy. I mean, almost pretty much everyone in the lineup. I knew Brendan Donovan was going to be good. I knew Cole Young would improve, but I didn't assume it would be by this much. And again, we just need to be able to bring up Colt Emerson. And I know, JP is kind of still looking over his shoulder in the celebration process here. They got Mike Trout. They got some fireworks in the background. They got some planes going over the stadium. And again, not very planned out. If you're an Angel fan or a Mariner fan, they could have started this celebration, at 6:15, 6:20, instead of waiting until first pitch time that was supposed to be 6:40. And obviously, we could have already got this game started. But again, that's the Angels for you. And again, now we're approaching 7 o'clock. And I assume that's when we're going to end up getting first pitch. New manager, Kurt Suzuki. I don't know if he's behind this, but obviously should have been a little bit more well-planned. Notable additions, Adam Frazier, Josh Lowe, as well as a few others. And again, we got Mariner players, warming up here. And again, I assume that first pitch will be here finally in about 3 minutes. Again, why even show the game is going to start at 6:40 if you're going to be doing this bullshit celebration that you could have started early? It's like the fans were already in their seats, and again, you could have already did it early on. But again, this is something that teams do, especially if they don't have their home opener the first game of the season. I get it. They want to be able to celebrate the players and everything else. But again, they could have definitely changed the time, on social media to, hey, 7 p.m. And then people wouldn't be waiting for 15 minutes to get first pitch started. So we're on another commercial break. They got the players warming up, and I imagine first pitch will be here in just a minute or two. Tridents up. Let's go, M's. Let's go, baby. Let's get this game started, Los Angeles. And I'm hoping, that we can win 2 out of 3. I would love, for us to be able to, sweep the Angels. But again, they play us tough, just like the Athletics. I feel that, when you are in a division, with certain teams, records go out the window, as everyone knows, in the NFL, the NBA, NHL, college football. Again, sometimes records go out the window, especially in baseball and the NFL, NBA, and NHL for the four major sports. Sometimes in college football, it can be a little bit different because sometimes with the expansion of the teams like the Big Ten, obviously the few teams at the top are much better than the teams towards the bottom. But in baseball, we know that the Rangers, who we have up next after the Angels, are going to give us everything that they got, regardless of record. Same thing with the Astros. We don't like them. They don't like us. But again, with teams that are typically at the bottom, you can't count them out with the Angels and the Athletics. So even though the records may not be great, if you're a fan of this team, and I know a lot of you have been fans for a very long time, like myself, since the mid-'80s, it would be nice, to be able to say, yeah, we're going to go in there into Los Angeles and we're going to sweep them. Everyone's going to homer. Cal, Julio, Naylor, Randy's going to get hot. JP's going to play his first game and he's going to get 3 hits. That would be a great thing to be able to believe and say. But realistically, with the pitching, in the bullpen being a little shaky, Logan Gilbert not being good, in his first couple starts. Again, we still are a work in progress. And on top of Ref Snyder not being able to even get a hit so far against left-handed pitching, Cal, Julio, and Naylor struggling mightily. Randy's done average. JP's playing in his first game. Robles hasn't played up to his potential. And thankfully, we have Brandon Donovan and Cole Young. Can you imagine if Brandon Donovan and Cole Young were not starting on this team? We might only have 1 win, maybe none, at this point. So again, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. It's a long season, 162 games. And again, I'm hoping for every player that has struggled up to this point to get going. And again, what a better way to be able to get going is on the road against a team like the Los Angeles Angels. And it looks like they are just about ready to get this going. Well, you got the name wrong. So you combine 2 players. One player is named Cole Young, and then the player that's in the farm in AAA is Colt Emerson. So both players are very, very good. Obviously, if you're talking about a guy that was a very, very high draft pick, again, there's been a few guys, in Detroit, in Pittsburgh, that had fantastic debuts. Obviously, when Cole Young came up last year, it was only a small sample, but he's definitely improved massively from last year to this year. And again, with Colt Emerson, they kind of, picture it more of like a Corbin Carroll as an infield player. So again, and we know Corbin Carroll, when he's healthy, pretty good player in the outfield. We know Colt Emerson, when he gets called up, whenever that may be, he'll be able to get hits, he'll be able to play defense, and he'll be able to take us to another level. So again, we got Aaron Goldsmith and Angie Mentink there on the mic. They got the umps down there talking with Trout and some of the others. And it looks like the photos and the meet and greets and everyone on the PA and the fireworks. It looks like everything is just about wrapped up. And again, if the Angels were able to let everyone know that they were going to do this, they could have just said, hey, first pitch is going to be 7:05 instead of keeping it at 6:40 and having everyone wait. But again, it is what it is. And it looks like we are getting very close to first pitch. Come on, start this game already. Ridiculous, Angels. I hope we really do beat the shit out of them in these next 3 games just for this alone. Let's get the game started already. We've been waiting all day. We've been very patient, to try to be able to get this game going. But again, hopefully we can go 2 out of 3, and hopefully we can get the dub here on the first game with Brian Wu on the mound. We were 9-4 versus this team last season. And again, Brian Wu, 25 starts, 13-2 record. 2.72 ERA, and this is versus California teams. Strikeout rate of 25.8%, a walk rate of 5%, and that's against the Athletics, Giants, Angels, Dodgers, and Padres last year. First start against the Guardians, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, 9 strikeouts, and 1 walk. And again, Wu overall has been pretty good until it gets to maybe the inning before usually he ends up getting pulled. So, and that happens. That's pretty typical, out of a pitcher. You want a guy to go 6 innings and you want him to go on a high note, but sometimes guys get a little tired or they get roughed up in the 5th and end up getting pulled. Last time that we saw Bryan Woo, he was electric for 5 innings, but then ended up giving up 2 runs where the game was 2-2. And then everything kind of went downhill for the Mariners offensively and defensively after that. But 30 games last season, 15-7 record, an all-star for the very first time, 2.94 ERA, 198 Ks to 36 walks. And if Bryan Woo never would have gotten hurt, at the end of the year, I think that we would have beat the Blue Jays because we could have had Woo pitch 3 times. And then if we would have went to the World Series, the Dodgers were favored. But if the Blue Jays were able to take them to the wire, who says that the Mariners couldn't have done the same thing if Woo was healthy? Because again, if you could have your number 1 guy go 3 times, just like Yoshinobu Yamamoto went 3 times in, obviously the World Series, and just like Shohei did the year before, and it's a huge advantage, especially when you got a lot of guys that could pitch, Logan or George, you got all these different options with Castillo and Miller. And again, 4 out of the 5 starters got hurt. Castillo was the only one that really didn't get hurt last year. Hopefully the health, will be a little bit better for us. But again, it all starts back to Dan Wilson and managing this team the right way. And I don't know how many, games that Ref Snyder has to go 0 for 2, 0 for 4 before they say, you know what, this isn't worth it. And you'll either slide him in the lineup or just not play him at all. And again, I would rather have a lefty that I trust, like Luke Raley or Dominic Canzone, going against a left-handed pitcher rather than a guy that is supposed to hit lefties as a righty when he was in Boston and Rob Refsnyder. Again, hopefully they'll make the change. But again, if it was me, I wouldn't even be playing Refsnyder at all. Send him to AAA or just put him on the bench. Don't have him play at all. Swap him for Colt Emerson and then we're good to go. And again, you can put someone else at leadoff. And again, Brendan Donovan would have a better chance of getting a hit than Rob Refsnyder. And we got first pitch here in just a second. All right, here we go. Reed Detmers on the mound, Rob Refsnyder in the box. And I hope for Rob's sake, he'll get a hit. First pitch is high and away by Reed Detmers. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Reed Detmers on the mound, Rob Refsnyder in the box. 1-0 pitch, popped up. And guess what? Another opportunity for Rob to fail. And that is 1 away. Definitely a little windy out there, and there might be a few baseballs that end up dropping. That should be easy outs because of the wind. But another opportunity for Rob wasted as the leadoff hitter, and that is 1 away. Next up, catcher in the 2-hole, it's the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. On deck, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. And on the mound with a 5.79 ERA, no wins or losses just yet, Reed Detmers. First pitch to Cal, high and away. Curveball, 73 miles an hour off speed, 1-0 count. And for any of the individuals that were in here, waiting on the delay, I apologize. It wasn't on me. It was on the Angels, and we're good to go now. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking high and inside. Curveball, 73 miles an hour again off speed by Reed Detmers. 1 ball and 1 strike to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. TJ in the building, what's good? 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Change up, 80 miles an hour by Detmers. Big swing and a miss by Cal. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. And a shout out to all of the individuals watching all over the world. We got a great viewership in the United States and Canada, Mexico, Dominican Republic, and many other locations as well, including the Philippines, like Bullard here as well. 1-2 pitch, high and away. Ohapi really had to stretch for that one. 2 balls and 2 strikes to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Yeah, and the wind definitely will affect some of the long balls and as well as the pop-ups. I feel that there is a pretty good chance for an error or two for each team, especially if the wind continues. 2-2 pitch, and that goes behind the plate to the Miller Children's and Women's Hospital sign. 2 balls, 2 strikes from Detmers to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. TJ in the building, what's good, brother? Let's go. This game was supposed to start at 6:40, but the Angels were dumb and did their celebration at that time. 2-2 pitch popped up, and a broken bat here by Cal, and another easy pop-up out for the Seattle Mariners, and that is 2 away. Next up for Seattle, the best center fielder in the game, it's J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. On deck, cleanup hitter, first baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Now we know Julio batted .267 last year, 32 home runs, 95 ribbies. He's a guy that could easily get 40 home runs, 40 stolen bags, and over 100 ribbies based off his talent, but definitely starting slow every year in his career up to this point has held him back. Hopefully he'll be able to get going before the All-Star break. First pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle, four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away, changeup, 82 miles an hour there by Reed Detmers. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. And again, we're definitely very desperate for Cal, Julio, and Naylor, as well as Randy, to get a home run sooner than later. They are overdue. 1-1 pitch, high and inside, four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, which is a ball. Should be challenged by Julio, but we're not getting that here with the ABS. And again, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Should have challenged that. 1-2 pitch, and Julio pops it up. It's a trend for the first 3 batters, Ref Snyder, Cal, and now Julio into left field, and that is out number 3. Let's go to the bottom of the first inning and see who's up next for the Angels. Leading off for the Angels at shortstop, Zach Neto. Batting second, the future Hall of Famer center fielder Mike Trout. And batting third, first baseman Nolan Shonowell. And on the mound for the Mariners, our ace, ERA of 3, no wins or losses just yet. It is Brian Woo! Let's go, Brian. We need a good showing here tonight. I think at the beginning of the year in the season opener, they should have started Brian Woo instead of Logan Gilbert. This was the best pitcher on the team last year. We know Logan Gilbert and George Kirby have been all-stars before, like Brian Woo. And I know Brian Woo did get hurt at the end of the year, but you needed to reward him, for how consistent he was. And to me, even if Logan Gilbert would have won his first 2 starts, I still would be saying it right now. Brian Woo should have ended up being, the season opener starter. He should have been the one. But again, if they want to go Logan Gilbert 1, George Kirby 2, Brian Woo 3, Emerson Hancock filling in for Bryce Miller at 4, and Luis Castillo at 5 to kind of split up the order a little bit. That's fine, but again, Brian Woo, to me, was the most deserving to be the season opener pitcher. And again, we got to hope, that Logan Gilbert gets better. He definitely has not been good in his first couple starts. Kirby's been good. Woo's been good. And, who's been electric? Emerson Hancock and Luis Castillo. And that is definitely a big surprise. Keep it up, those 2. Let's go to the bottom of the first inning. 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Angels. Tyler in the building. What's good? We're at 50. Let's go. 50 more to get to a hundo. Let's get it, baby. And we're trying to get 5 to 15 subs to gain a little bit more ground in the sub count. And obviously the dono goal will still be 100. Brian Woo on the mound. Zach Neto in the box. 15-7 record, 2.94 ERA, strikeout percentage, 27.1% last season. First pitch to Neto, fouls it off towards third base. Sinker, 95 miles an hour by Woo, my guy, 0-1 count. Bottom of the first inning, 0-0 here early with a 20-minute delay with a celebration for Angel fans that went way too long. Let's make them pay to make us wait those extra 20 minutes. 0-1 pitch. Low and at the knees, changeup, 87 miles an hour by Brian Woo. 1 ball and 1 strike to Zach Neto. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. One pitch. Hard hit ball towards third base with a laser by Neto and foul. So the celebration is usually, when you play your first game in front of your home fans, if you've been on the road, for the first couple series, then they want to do an excessive celebration. They got video packages, they got photographers, little awards they want to hand out, saying how great Mike Trout is. We already know, things like that. And again, they could have started it early, but they decided to wait until first pitch time to get it going. Popped up towards first base. Josh Naylor is there, and that is 1 away. And especially if you're telling everyone in the media the game first pitch is at 6:40, you should have started the celebration at 6:20 and we wouldn't have an issue. But what they did is they started this celebration at 6:40 and then it didn't get over until 7, and that's why we had the delay. But it gave us a chance to go over why the lineup stinks. With Ref Snyder leading off, it should always be Brendan Donovan. And again, we're here at this moment. Next up is Mike Trout. Oh, shit. First pitch, high and inside, almost hit Trout in the head. Holy moly. That definitely was not on purpose. Just got a little bit away from Brian Wu, 1-0 count. And he does, amazing things against Seattle. So we have to definitely try to keep these, opportunities in play. And Trout on the second pitch is hit by Wu. 94, 95 mile an hour sinker. Wu is not a dirty pitcher. And we don't really have any, reason to be able to fight this team, even though we have been able to, draw some blows. And, again, high on the shoulder, not something that Wu is usually known for, but there goes Mike Trout to first. And if you look at Mike Trout's numbers against every team in the league, against Seattle, he rakes. I mean, we're talking home runs, RBIs, singles, doubles, occasional triple. Again, so I don't know if this is like an intimidation thing, or if it's just it got away from Wu, but 2 pitches that, got real close, and that second one got him in the shoulder, Trout at first. First pitch to Nolan Schanuel, high and away with a 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Hopefully we don't get any retaliation by Reed Detmers, but if we do, we'll see what happens later in the game. We definitely have brawled with this team before. 1-0 pitch to Schanuel, little slow dribbler. Donovan is there, double play, throw to first, no throw there. And JP with his first game didn't see the opportunity, and we got the fielder's choice, and that is 2 away. Schanuel grounds out to the fielder's choice to third. Trout out at second after getting hit in the shoulder. Next up, for the Angels in the 4-hole, DHing Jorge Soler. And a nice little slow dribbler there by Schanuel. Would have been nice to get that double play, but we'll take it. Fielder's choice is all good. First pitch takes a strike looking right down the middle from Brian Wu. Sinker 95 miles an hour to Jorge Soler, 0-1 count. Bottom of the first inning, runner at first with 2 out, 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Angels. 0-1 pitch, slow dribbler. JP Crawford is there. Throw to Cole Young at second, and that is out number 3. And JP looked good in his, couple starts there for the Tacoma Rainiers, just making sure that everything was, on the right pace of the MLB game, and definitely looks pretty good so far. I don't know what he's going to look like batting-wise, but at least defensive-wise, we know that we typically can count on JP. And again, JP hopefully will be able to give us a little bit of pop in the bat, a little bit more than Leo Rivas. And if we're being honest, Leo wasn't fantastic, but he wasn't bad either. Leo was actually playing better than a lot of the guys 1 through 5 in the lineup. But again, we may see Leo again at some point. But again, I believe this is JP's last year, more than likely with the team, last year on the contract. And we have Colt Emerson waiting to take his spot. He knows that. But again, we're going to have to wait and see how they end up progressing, the JP Crawford, Colt Emerson situation when we end up calling him up. All right, let's go to the top of the second inning and see who's up next here for the Mariners. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Reed Detmer still on the mound, and leading off for the Mariners in the top of the second inning, first baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Batting second in the 5-hole, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. And batting third in the 6-hole, should never be batting 6th ever, always should be our leadoff hitter. I don't care if it's a righty or a lefty or if they're blind, third baseman Brendan Donovan. This Rob Ref Snyder experiment needs to end. Facts. Let's go Nails, let's go Randy, and let's go Brendan Donovan. Let's go Donnie. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Like we gained 4 subs since the last commercial break. Appreciate that. And now we only need 92 subs to get to 23,700. First pitch to Josh Naylor. Takes a strike looking low and away. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour by Reed Detmers. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss off a slider, 88 miles an hour, low and away. Nasty pitch there by Reed Detmers. No balls and 2 strikes to Josh Naylor. Come on, Josh. Hard hit ball towards first base, but not enough. Still gets stuck in the infield. Throw to first to Shonowell, and down goes Josh Naylor, and that is 1 away. And we need, Naylor to be able to pull the baseball and get it into the outfield. More times than not, he'll be able to get like a bloop single. And again, when it goes into the infield, it's almost an automatic out. At least it has been in 2026. Next up is Randy Arozarena. First pitch is high and away with a slider, 88 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Yeah, I'll go over my lineup here. 1-0 pitch, high and away, slider 87 miles an hour, 2 balls and no strikes to Randy Arozarena. So for me, I wouldn't be playing Rob Refsnyder at all. I'd be sending him down to AAA or just benching him. And then I would have Donovan batting leadoff against lefty or righty pitching. I don't care. And then again, if you want to move Cole Young up to the 2-hole, temporarily until Cal, Julio, and Naylor get going, that could help. But if you want to keep Cole at the bottom, at the 9, you can still have him 9-1-2 at end of games, where it would be Cole Young, Brendan Donovan, and Cal Raleigh, and that can help you still win as well if you want to keep Cole there. 3-0 pitch, high and away, and that is a 4-pitch walk to Randy Arozarena. He hasn't been great, but he hasn't been terrible either. He's been able to take some walks. Nice job by Randy. Good eye. Next up, in the 6-hole, third baseman, Brendan Donovan. But again, you got to be able to, pivot your lineups and switch it up a little bit, especially when certain guys have been struggling. And Donnie is the only guy on the team that's got a hit in every single game. He's our modern day Ichiro Suzuki, and again, if we didn't have Donovan or Cole Young playing, we might not even have a win at this point. So we have to be very thankful. At least we got 2 studs doing their job. First pitch is high and away, 1-0 count. Four-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour by Detmer. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. Slider, 87 miles an hour by Reed Detmers. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first. Randy Arozarena with a 4-pitch walk and 1 out. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss there by Donnie. Slider, 85 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brendan Donovan. Come on, Donnie. One-two pitch, high and away, slider 85 miles an hour, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brendan Donovan. Great to have JP Crawford back in the lineup. Can't wait for Colt Emerson to get called up. And that way we can start, taking out the weak pieces like Refsnyder off this team, or at least benching him. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, high and inside, tried to jam Brendan Donovan. And if Donovan, ends up striking out, against a left-handed pitcher, who cares? We already know, the type of player that he is. But for a guy with Rob Refsnyder, who hasn't even been able to get a hit against left-handed pitching so far this season, not ideal. Especially that's the only reason that we signed him. 2-2 pitch, high and inside with a curveball, 73 miles an hour there by Reed Detmers. Count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Brendan Donovan. Judah, you can have Rob Refsnyder back for a bag of chips on your Red Sox. We don't want him. 3-2 pitch, popped up, and shallow center field. Trout is there. Wind is carrying a lot of these baseballs, and that is 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, welcome back to the team. Shortstop in the 7-hole, J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. And we know the defense is going to be good by JP Crawford, but what is he going to look like in the box? Hopefully, he'll be able to get a hit in his first game. But if he goes 0 for 4, 0 for 5 today, that wouldn't shock me either. Throw to first by Reed Detmers to keep Randy honest, and he is safe. Yeah, but considering they're only playing him, against, left-handed pitching, and he hasn't even been able to get a hit yet, that's a little alarming. He's not playing when he's going against a righty. He's only getting lefty pitching opportunities, which supposedly he was really good for you guys last year, but he's not doing it for us this year, at least at this point early in the season. And his body language, it doesn't really scream confidence. It seems like he's, kind of like mentally out of it, or, in a slump, kind of nervous, and again, that's not something that you want as your leadoff hitter. And JP Crawford, hard hit ball into center field. And Mike Trout is there, and that is out number 3. Nice hard hit ball there by JP Crawford. I wasn't expecting that, but hopefully JP will be able to get us going. No runs, no hits, no errors for either team just yet. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning and see who's next up for the Angels. But especially when we got a guy like Colt Emerson, who's like, they're kind of saying could be like the infield version of Corbin Carroll in the outfield. That would be the guy that I would swap. Send Ref Snyder to AAA, have him work on his game, bring up Colt Emerson, even if you don't want to play him right away, just have him, be a part of the guys in the dugout. And then if Ref Snyder can prove that he can hit, in AAA, then, call him up down the road. But honestly, we don't really need him. And if anything, he's hurting us because, again, if you have him lead off against left-handed pitching, guess what? Cal Raleigh ain't doing nothing. Julio's not doing nothing. Josh Naylor's not doing nothing. So you got the first 4 guys in the lineup doing nothing. How are we supposed to win games when 4 guys out of 9 aren't doing anything? And again, those guys will get better, Julio, Cal, and Naylor. But I don't know about Rob Refsnyder. You can have him back on the Red Sox. I'm not a fan. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning and see who's next up for the Angels. Next up for the Angels in the 5-hole, third baseman Yoan Moncada. Batting second in the 6-hole, right fielder Joe Adell. And batting third in the 7-hole from the Tampa Bay Rays, left fielder Josh Lowe. And on the mound for the Mariners, our ace, Brian Woo! Let's go, baby. All right, we're at 64 likes. We're making some good ground. 36 to 100. Let's go, baby. First pitch from Wu to Moncada. Takes a strike looking with a sweeper, low and away. 83 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Bottom of the second inning, 0-0 here early between rivals, the Seattle Mariners and the Los Angeles Angels. 0-1 pitch, high and inside with a four-seam fastball. 95 miles an hour there by Brian Wu. 1 ball and 1 strike to Yoan Moncada. One pitch, hard hit ball towards third base. And that is foul. Sweeper, 81 miles an hour there by Brian Wu. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the second inning, 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Angels. 1-2 pitch. And a nice punch out there by Brian Wu. Nice job, Wu. My guy. Way to bring that electricity, Brian Wu. Next up is Joe Adell. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. First pitch to Joe Adell. Fouls it behind the plate. The Pachanga Casino sign there in the stadium. 0-1 count. Sweeper, 83 miles an hour there by Wu. No balls and one strike with nobody on and one out. And really the only shaky moment Wu had is when he hit Trout, almost on, those first pitch, almost got him. Second pitch got him on the shoulder. But since then, he's been pretty good here. 0-1 pitch. Fouls that behind the Pechanga Resort Casino sign again. Sinker 95 miles an hour by Wu. No balls and 2 strikes on Joe Adell. Come on, Wu. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees with a sweeper. It's on the line, but we haven't had any ABS just yet. 83 mile an hour sweeper, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Joe Adell. Come on, Wu. 1-2 pitch, popped up. And it's in shallow right field. Robles is making a run for it, and he's got it right towards the line there on foul territory, but in play. Nice out there by Victor Robles, showing some hustle. I love that, and that is 2 away. Next up for Brian Wu in the 7 hole from the Tampa Bay Rays, left fielder Josh Lowe. .220 average, 11 home runs and 40 ribbies last season with the Rays. First pitch is high and away, 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour there by our ace, Brian Wu. 1-0 count. .1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour there by Brian Wu. 1 ball and 1 strike to Josh Lowe. AR in the building. What's good, brother? 1-1 pitch, hard hit ball, and out of play towards left field there by Josh Lowe. 1 ball and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the second with nobody on and 2 outs. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Josh Lowe. Come on, Wu. .1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and another punch out by Wu. That's number 2. Nice job, Wu. There we go. Let's go to the top of the 3rd inning, and let's get on the board already, huh? We've had some slow starts. And again, we know sometimes going on the road is challenging, but I kind of like it. Sometimes after we have a couple series at home, us against the world kind of mentality. And I know a lot of teams use that in sports, especially when, a lot of the fans of the opposing team are going to be, talking shit and whatnot. And this team is one of our rivals and they have the same record as us. And we know we're better than them, but we have to go out there and prove it. And what a better way to do that than getting on the board at some point here early within the first 6 innings, I hope. Next up for the Mariners in the 7 hole, 8 hole, right fielder Victor Robles. Batting second in the 9 hole, probably the best offense and defensive player so far to start the season for Seattle, second baseman Cole Young. And batting third, back at the top of the order, 0 for 1, DHing Rob Refsnyder. So we'll see if they end up giving Rob 2 at-bats, or if they end up having him go 3 or 4. It's kind of a wasted, spot if you ask me, and we've seen him do 2 at-bats and replace. But it all really depends on, Reed Detmers and if they end up going to a righty. We've gone against a lot of left-handed pitching, and that's why our record is 3-4. With the Guardians and the Yankees, they specifically throw out a lot of lefties as starters and guys in the pen because they know that our lineup is weaker, for a more heavy right-handed lineup, especially when you got guys like Refsnyder playing instead of guys like Dominic Canzone or Luke Raley, who should be playing fucking every day. No disrespect to Victor Robles, and obviously I'm not a big fan of Refsnyder, but if we had Luke Raley and Dominic Canzone playing, even against left-handed pitching, think about how many more opportunities we possibly could have. But again, it's a long season. You got to be able to let everyone play to a certain degree. I get it. But again, you got to be able to put your best foot forward. Victor Robles, Cole Young, and Rob Refsnyder. And on the mound for the Angels with a 5.79 ERA coming into the game, Reed Detmers. Top of the 3rd inning, 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Angels. First pitch from Detmers to Robles. Beautiful curveball. Off speed, 72 miles an hour. Right down the middle, 0-1 count. Come on, Victor. 0-1 pitch, fouls it behind the plate. Change up 81 miles an hour there by Reed Detmers. No balls and 2 strikes to Victor Robles. Trident's up. Let's go M's. (0-2) pitch. Little slow dribbler. Should be an easy out for the Angels. Throw to first. Nice hustle by Victor. Wow. And again, I notice everything. How guys, are in the box with their body language. How much hustle are you bringing? Even if you feel you're 99% out, are you still bringing the hustle like Luke Raley typically does running to first? Nice job by Victor, even though he was out. But that's probably the best hustle I've seen out of him in a while. And that is 1 away. If you end up doing good things in your routine, you will be rewarded. It's karma. Next up is Cole Young, who's been overall the best player on the Mariners, offensively and defensively. We know that Brendan Donovan has been the best hitter. Cole Young has been number 2, but Young has been the best defensive player on the Mariners so far, which is awesome. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour. There by Reed Detmers, 1 ball and 1 strike to Cole Young. Let's go, Cole. And again, when Cole ends up getting his buddy Colt Emerson to get called up, man, we are going to be so deadly. Cole Young, Colt Emerson, they're at second and short. Then you got Brendan Donovan at third and Naylor at first. It's just beautiful. But again, JP's got the spot for now. And again, Leo Rivas did a okay job filling in for JP. And we know JP's defense is good, but what's the bat going to look like? We have to wait and see. 2-1 pitch. Low and away after a automatic ball pitch timer violation by Reed Detmers. Count now is 3 balls and 1 strike to Cole Young. And I love seeing guys blossom in front of your very eyes. We've been talking about Cole Young and Colt Emerson for years. Broken bat, Young, and a little flip to the pitcher, and just in time. I was hoping Cole was going to be able to run that one out, but after that broken bat, just in time there by the Angels, toe tap on the bag, and that is 2 away. Next up, DHing at the leadoff spot, Rob Refsnyder. And Refsnyder's 0 for 9 on the year, and they only play him against left-handed pitching. We'll see if he ends up getting a hit, making it 1 for 10, or if he goes 0 for 10. And then, how long before we decide to bench him or to slide him down from the leadoff spot? It's getting a little ridiculous. First pitch, takes a strike looking with a slider, 0-1 count. 88 miles an hour there by Reed Detmers. 0-1 pitch, high and away, change up 83 miles an hour there by Reed Detmers. 1 ball and 1 strike to Rob Refsnyder. Come on, Rob. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside, four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Detmers to Refsnyder. I wonder whose idea it was. It's one thing to have him play in the 6, 7, 8, or 9 hole, but why are you having a guy lead off? That doesn't make any sense, especially when you got a guy like Brendan Donovan, that's been getting a hit in every game. Ichiro wouldn't be batting fucking 6th ever, and that's where they have Donovan when Refsnyder plays. It's ridiculous. Pitches low and at the knees, slider 86 miles an hour. Good eye by Refsnyder there. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. 2-2 pitch. Low and at the knees, another slider, 85 miles an hour. Low and inside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Rob Refsnyder. And if Rob could at least get on with a walk, then we can have at least something positive to talk about. And there it is. 3-2 pitch. And Refsnyder finally, for the very first time in a Seattle Mariner uniform, he fucking does something. Takes a walk. Thank you, Rob. Much better than the strikeouts and, the little bullshit that you've done up to this point. Good eye by Rob Refsnyder, finally getting on base with a walk. Next up is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. 247 average, 60 homers, 125 ribbies last season. We are due for some electricity out of the big dumper. On deck is Julio Rodriguez. First pitch to Cal Raleigh, high and inside with a changeup, 81 miles an hour by Detmers, 1-0 count. Top of the third inning with a runner at first, Ref Snyder with 2 outs. And this is like the first time that Ref Snyder has actually done something positive on the team. 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Four-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour by Reed Detmers. 1 ball and 1 strike to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And again, it wouldn't be that big of a deal with kind of getting on Ref Snyder if Cal and Julio and Naylor were doing well. But when you got the first 4 guys in the lineup that are struggling, hard to win games. And it's almost crazy to think that, we have the record that we do with the batting order that Dan is putting together when we go against lefties. Pitch is inside, 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour at the knees to Cal Raleigh. 2 balls and 1 strike to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. Cal Raleigh in the box. Reed Detmers on the mound. 2-1 pitch. And we got a challenge here. This should be a strike. I think it was initially called ball, but it's like right down the middle. Slider, 85 miles an hour. Angels should win this ABS, and they do. There we go. Call overturned. 2 balls and 2 strikes to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. ABS has been the best thing for baseball. I mean, besides, the shifting and, reducing the time of games with the pitch clock and whatnot. So a lot of the rules that have been, in place have definitely improved the game, in my opinion. Pitch is low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. No longer can you be a shitty ump to hold grudges against players and calling bullshit. You're held to a different standard, even though there's only a few ABS challenges per game. Hard hit ball and a 3-2 pitch towards left field and foul. 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour there by Reed Detmers. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Looks like Cal's getting a different bat. Don't know if it's a torpedo bat or not. We haven't really talked about torpedo bats in 2026. Definitely was a phase and a thing in 2025. There definitely are players that are still using them this season, but definitely not talked about as much as last year. Come on, Cal. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 3-2 pitch. And that is strike 3 looking on Cal Raleigh. Cal thinks it's high, but it was strike 3. And there's no real point of challenging it here, but I think Cal is going to challenge. Yep. And that's a bad challenge there by Cal Raleigh. Shouldn't have challenged that. And that is strike 3 by Reed Detmers. And again, it's going to be, again, when you're in the box yourself, and a pitch is coming at you 95 to 100 and you only can feel it go by you, for like a split second, it's going to be hard to be able to predict every time, if it's, there or not. And again, we definitely have seen them, be like a millimeter, just inside or outside of the, squared circle, so to speak. So, but Cal loses on that ABS. And let's go to the bottom of the third inning. We're still knotted up at 0. Next up for the Angels in the bottom of the third inning, in the 8-hole, catcher Logan Ohapi. Batting second, the former Yankee and now Angel in the 9-hole, second baseman Oswald Peraza. And batting third, back at the top of the order, shortstop 0 for 1, Zach Neto. And on the mound for the Mariners, our ace, Brian Woo. Let's go. So far, so good for Woo. Let's keep it going, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Looks like we gained 2 more subs since the last commercial break. Appreciate you. Now we only need 90 subs to get to 23,700. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. All right, 73 likes, 27 more to get to 100. And we're still looking for our first dono on the dono train. Let's go. Let's go, Woo. Keep kicking ass and taking names. First pitch, right down the middle to Logan O'Hoppe. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour by Woo. 0-1 count. Bottom of the third inning, 0-0 here early with nobody on and no outs. Brian Woo, our ace on the mound. Logan O'Hoppe, the catcher for the Angels, in the box. 213 average, 19 home runs, and 43 ribbies last season. 0-1 pitch, fouled off into right field, out of play. No balls and 2 strikes from Woo to O'Hoppe. O2 pitch. Low and at the knees. Slider off speed, 84 miles an hour there by Brian Woo. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the third inning, 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the rival Los Angeles Angels. 1-2 pitch. Hard hit ball towards third base. Throw to first to Naylor and got him. Nice job there by J.P. Crawford. Good defense again. Nice job, J.P. Down goes Logan O'Hoppe, grounding out to J.P. Crawford. Throw to Naylor is good. Next up in the 9-hole, second baseman Oswald Peraza. First pitch from Woo to Peraza. Takes the strike looking with the four-seam fastball high and inside. 94 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Oh-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour there by Brian Woo. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Bottom of the third inning, 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Angels. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 0-2 pitch, hard hit ball into right field, fading foul. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour there by Brian Woo. No balls and 2 strikes to Oswald Peraza, the former Yankee and now Angel. Oh-2 pitch. Low and at the knees with the sweeper, 80 miles an hour there by Woo. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Woo to Peraza. One-two pitch, high and inside. Sweeper, 83 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Woo to Peraza. Yeah, I mean, there's a number of things, obviously, besides Brendan Donovan and Cole Young, we got a number of guys that have started slow. Logan Gilbert's been terrible to start off the season. Bullpen has been a little shaky. So, again, 3-4 record isn't ideal, but it could be a hell of a lot worse, especially if Donovan and Cole Young were in the same spot as Cal, Julio, and Naylor. We probably would only have 1 win or none. So, at least we got a few guys that are, playing well to start the year. 2-2 pitch. High and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Oswald Peraza. 3-2 pitch. Popped up and out of play behind the plate. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Bottom of the third inning, 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Angels. Brian Woo on the mound. Oswald Peraza in the box. Come on, Woo. 3-2 pitch. Hard hit ball into right field, fading out of play. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour there by Brian Woo. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Four-seam, 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 back-to-back sweepers, a sinker, and then back-to-back four-seam fastballs. We're on pitch 9 on Peraza. Get his ass. 3-2 pitch. Popped up. Shallow right field. Get it, Robles. Oh, and Robles dives for it and misses. But thankfully, Cole Young was right behind him, and that should have been a double, but only turns into a single. Robles is down on both knees after hustling and making a huge diving attempt. And I like the effort. And he had to cover a lot of ground. I mean, it was shallow right field. And again, he made a great effort, but laid out Superman-like, but missed it. But as long as he's not hurt, we're good to go. And again, it only ended up being a single. Probably could have been a double. But Cole Young was right behind him to scoop the baseball up. And that's great awareness by Cole Young. Next up is Zach Neto. Throw to first. Wu pointing towards the dugout, wanting a challenge to see if the tag was on. Wu and Naylor are thinking maybe we got that out there at first. Oh, we're going to challenge. Oh, he got him. He got him. Josh Naylor with the tag on the butt. Right there on the lower back and butt. He got him. This should be 2 away. Great awareness by Brian Wu throwing to first right there. It's being challenged right now. But it looks like Wu and Naylor are pretty confident. After watching that replay, it looked for sure he got him. And you can hear the moans and groans by the Angel fans looking at the replay board. I think they know what's about to come here. And we got a challenge here on the throw to first. Taking their sweet time here with the Oswald Peraza diving attempt back to first. But, I mean, to me, it's pretty clear he's out. He's out. I mean, it's not even close. I mean, he gets him before maybe 6 inches to a foot and got him. There we go. I mean, that's not even close. I mean, we're talking, and maybe, half an arm length. And there we go. The call is confirmed. Pick off on the runner at first. Great job there by Brian Wu, my guy. And a nice tag there by Josh Naylor. My man. 2 away. Next up, shortstop, Zach Neto. And you got to take advantage, of players falling asleep at first, and, Mariner players have, been victim, to that as well, falling asleep a little bit at first and, not diving back to the bag in time. And that definitely kills momentum. And nice job there by Wu. First pitch to Zach Neto, high and inside with a sweeper, 80 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, hard hit ball by Neto to third. Donovan is there, laser throw to first, and that is out number 3. And even though the hitting, has been lackluster at times, the defense for the Mariners has been pretty fucking good. There's been a few errors, there's been a few players that have missed a few. It's natural. It happens in baseball. But overall, the defense has been pretty fucking impressive. I would like a few more double plays, but again, overall, it's been pretty fucking good. One of the kind of bright spots to the team, besides a few occasional errors here and there. But again, like with Donovan getting an error, losing it in the lights, playing a position that he normally never plays at third, he's done a pretty good job overall. And he shows hustle, when he ends up making a mistake. So let's go to the top of the 4th inning and see if we can get on the board already. Let's go. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 in the 3-hole, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. You're due for a home run. Let's bring that electricity, Julio Rodriguez. Batting second, 0 for 1. First baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Just made a pickoff play there on Oswald Peraza. Could we get a bloop single into the outfield for Naylor or a home run? I sure as hell hope so. And batting third, 0 for 0 with a base on ball in the 5-hole, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. All right, we're at 79 live. 21 more to get to 100. We got 176 in the room, so shouldn't be that difficult. And we're 90 subs away from 23,700. Let's get it, baby. Come on, Julio. Wow, first pitch from Detmers to Julio. Wild. And I don't know if that was intentional after, Trout ended up getting hit, but it goes behind Julio. And I don't know if that was retaliation there, but it looked like that Detmers was trying to hit Julio on the leg, trying to injure him. 1-0 pitch. And then a little slow dribbler to Detmers. Throw to first. And that is one away. And again, it might get chippy before this, is over, because again, that looked intentional to me. Woo hitting Trout. I mean, he almost hit him in the face on the first pitch, then got him in the shoulder. And I don't think Woo and Trout really have beef, but we do have beef with the Angels in the past. But that definitely looked like retaliation, and Julio wasn't happy about it. And I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get in a fight with this team this season, but this is definitely the biggest drama that we've had. First pitch to Naylor, little bloop single, into the outfield. There it is. You ask and you shall receive. And again, when you end up getting a hit, out of Josh Naylor, you got to go to the outfield. You have to try to get it into the outfield, because if it ends up being an infield hit, it's an out 100% of the time. Infield single there into shallow center field, just like we said that he would do minutes ago. Nice job, Nails, Josh Naylor. Next up is left fielder Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. Let's bring Naylor home. First pitch to Arozarena. Four-seam fastball, high and inside, 92 miles an hour, fouled off by Randy. Into right field, out of play, 0-1 count. Top of the fourth inning with a runner at first, Naylor with one out. 0-1 pitch, hard hit ball towards third base and foul. Slider 86 miles an hour by Reed Detmers. No balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Reed Detmers on the mound. Randy Arozarena in the box. I mean, we could definitely use a Cal, Julio, Naylor, or Randy home run at some point. 0-2 pitch, hard hit ball into right field. It drops. Let's go. Joe Adell can't get to it, and both runners are safe. Here we go. That's what I like to see. Josh Naylor with a bloop single into center field. Randy Arozarena with a bloop single into shallow right field. Runners at first and second for our guy, the best hitter on the team, not named Cole Young. 6-hole hitter, third baseman, it's Brendan Donovan. Let's see if we can get a 3-run homer or an RBI to get the lead 1-0 or possibly 2-0. Let's go. I mean, when's the last time we went back-to-back-to-back hits? I feel like we haven't done that all. So this would be a great time if Donnie can get on board. First pitch, high and inside, 1-0 count. Or even if Donnie can get on with a walk and we can get bases loaded, maybe JP could have some magic for us. Come on, Donnie. 1-0 pitch, low and away. Slider 85 miles an hour to Brendan Donovan. 2 balls and no strikes from Detmers to Donovan. Come on, Donnie. Little slow dribbler towards third base. Force out at third. No double play attempt. And again, that ends up being a fielder's choice. Down goes Naylor. Just wish Donovan would have been able to get that to the outfield, and then maybe everyone would have been safe. But, it happens. Next up for the Mariners. In the 7-hole, first game of the 2026 season, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. First pitch to J.P. Crawford, high and away, 1-0 count. Come on, JP. And I don't think anyone really expects JP to do anything, offensively. Obviously, defensively, he's already, on point. 265 average, 12 homers, as well as 58 ribbies. But again, if we could just get a nice, lucky bloop single, that would be fantastic. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. Slider 84 miles an hour by Reed Detmers. 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking low and away. I mean, it's on the line, but barely. 1 ball and 2 strikes to JP. Come on, JP. Even if this is the last year JP Crawford will be starting for the Mariners, we want to have him go out on a good note. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and down goes JP Crawford, and we leave 2 stranded. But at least we got some guys on base, and sometimes that's what you need to do. You know, you need to get a couple guys on base, and then the next inning, things open up. And JP strikes out swinging. Can't wait for Colt Emerson, though. I'll tell you that. But for now, it's JP Crawford, and that is out number 3. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning and see who's next up here for the Angels. Next up for the Angels in the 2-hole, who got hit by a pitch in his first at-bat there in the shoulder, center fielder Mike Trout. Batting second, 0 for 1. In the 3-hole, first baseman Nolan Shonowell. And batting third in the 4-hole, DHing 0 for 1, Jorge Soler. And on the mound for the Mariners still is Bryan Woo. Let's look at the stats so far. So we got 3 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, 2 Ks, 37 pitches, 25 strikes with an ERA of 2. Came into the game with an ERA of 3. And then Reed Detmers, 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks, 60 pitches, 36 strikes. So he almost has double the amount of pitches than Woo. And his ERA was 5.79 coming into the game. Now it's 3.12. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. All right, we're at 82 likes, 18 more to get to 100. First pitch from Woo to Mike Trout. Low and away with a 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Woo on the mound, Mike Trout in the box. One-0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Woo to Trout. 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour there by Woo. Both on the line, so it could be 0-2 right now, but it's 2-0. No challenge by Woo or Cal. 2-0 pitch, high and inside. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour to Mike Trout. 3 balls and no strikes from Woo to Trout. And again, if we're going to hit Trout on the first at-bat and walk him on the second, that's better than him hitting a home run or getting a double. So, trying to get him, a little frustrated, not being able to really do damage against the Mariners, which he traditionally does. He plays better against the Mariners than almost anybody. 3-0 pitch, and that's outside, and that's a 4-pitch walk. And again, I don't mind walking certain guys that, end up doing damage to us. Trout, Judge, Ohtani. Every once in a while, it's okay to go at them, but in a series like this, getting Trout out of the game somewhat mentally, I'm all for it. Next up, 0 for 1 in the 3-hole, first baseman Nolan Shonowell. But again, if we're going to walk Trout, we got to pray and hope that Shonowell or Soler or Moncada don't homer, because again, that puts that extra person on, and instead of being down 1-0, we'd be down 2-0. So you can't give up the big home run here. First pitch from Woo to Shonowell, 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, high and inside, 1-0 count. Well, we've been going against a lot of lefties, against the Guardians, the Yankees, and now the Angels. And again, anytime we have a lefty on the mound on the other team, we have our weakest lineup. You got to think the 4 best players for the Mariners, 2 of them aren't playing, right? Luke Raley and Dominic Canzone. the Italian Stallion. They play when we go against righties. And then you got Cole Young and Brendan Donovan, who have been amazing, but that's it. So again, when you got 4 guys out of 9 and you only get 2 that are playing against left-handed pitching, it's an advantage for the other team. And that's why we've gone off to such a slow start. Also, putting Ref Snyder as a leadoff hitter is stupid, especially when you know that Cal, Julio, and Naylor have been struggling, even though Naylor is starting to kind of get going as of late. But overall, you can't win games with 4 out of your, first 4 out of your 9 not really being able to contribute, at least so far early in the season. But we will get better. Best believe. 1-0 pitch, high and inside, 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour from Brian Wu. 2 balls and no strikes to Nolan Shonowell. But when we go against righty pitching, that's when we're the best. Because then you get Dominic Canzone and Luke Raley on top of Cole Young and Brendan Donovan. So then you feel, okay, we got 4 guys out of 9. And then if just somehow Cal and Julio or Naylor or Randy do something, then we're really smoking. But, only time will tell. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside. Sinker at 95 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike to Nolan Shonowell. 2-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking low and in the zone. 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour by Wu. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and no outs. Bottom of the 4th inning, 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Angels. Wu on the mound, Shonowell in the box. Two-two pitch. Big swing and a miss. Nice punch out there by Brian Wu. Nice, Wu. I see you. Way to bring that electricity. And that is 1 away. Next up is Jorge Soler. 0-for-1. First pitch to Soler. Low and away. Sinker 96 miles an hour. 1-0 count. Bottom of the 4th inning. 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Angels. Wu on the mound. Jorge Soler in the box. 1-0 pitch. Right down the middle with the sinker, 95 miles an hour by Wu. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jorge Soler. And again, if we can get a slow dribbler up the middle for a double play, then we can get out of this inning unscathed. See if we can get the double play here, unless Wu just ends up, retiring the side with punch outs or pop-ups or ground outs. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Fooled Soler there. That was nasty. Sweeper, 84 miles an hour, way off the plate, and Soler bit like Julio used to, obviously last season and years before that. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jorge Soler. I'll take a strikeout and a pop-up, strikeout and a ground out, but double play would be fantastic. 1-2 pitch. High and away with the sweeper off speed, 84 miles an hour by Brian Wu. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Bottom of the 4th inning, 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Angels. Yeah, Wu's my favorite, starter, based on the 5 that we have. Even though I loved what Emerson Hancock and Luis Castillo did in their first outing, but will they be consistent? That's the question. And again, Gilbert has struggled, obviously, in his first 2 starts, which is unfortunate. And then Kirby's been good, but Wu's got electric stuff. I agree. 3-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Got him. Another punch out there by Brian Wu. Let's go. Way to bring the electricity, Wu. Now we just need the bats to come alive at some point in this game. Next up, in the 5-hole, 0-for-1 with a K, third baseman Yoan Moncada. And if we're not going to be able to get the double play, let's see if we can get another punch out. First pitch popped up. And that is in foul territory. Randy Arosarena went for it, but it ends up dropping. To the delight of the Angel fans over there by the tarp in left field. 0-1 count. He had Brendan Donovan and Randy Arosarena, and Randy missed it by maybe 6 inches. He put the glove out, and it almost got it. But again, it's really windy out there in Los Angeles. You're definitely seeing the baseballs carry, especially in pop-ups. Bottom of the 4th inning, 0-0. Runner at first with 2 outs. Wu on the mound, Yoan Moncada in the box. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Oh, 1 pitch. High and away. Check swing. Did he go? And he did not. 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour by Wu. 1 ball and 1 strike to Yoan Moncada. Wu on the mound. Moncada in the box. Smoke him, Wu. 1-1 pitch. Right down the middle. 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour by Brian Wu. Electric. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. See if we can get another punch out here or an easy ground out or pop up. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and another punch out by Brian Wu. There we go. Wu's doing his job. Now we just need the Mariner hitters to do theirs. End of the 4th inning, 0-0, Mariners and Angels. Let's see who's next here for Seattle in the top of the 5th. Next up for the Mariners in the top of the 5th, 0-for-1 in the 8-hole, right fielder Victor Robles. Let's go, Victor. Batting second, 0-for-1 in the 9-hole, second baseman, who's probably been the best overall offense and defensive player combined, Cole Young. And batting third, 0-for-1 with a base on ball, DHing Rob Refsnyder. Yes, sir. 3 Ks in a row. Let's go. End of the 4th inning, 0-0 here early. $90 subs away from 23,700. We're getting close to that 100 like number. And we're still looking for our first dono on our dono train. All right, we're at 93 likes, only 7 more to get there. And we got 217 in the room. Should be easy. All right, 93 likes, 7 more to 100. Let's go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. First pitch from Detmers to Robles. Takes a strike looking high and away with the changeup. 78 miles an hour by Detmers, 0-1 count. Detmers on the mound, Robles in the box. 0-1 pitch, popped up, and fading into foul territory, and is caught, and that is 1 away. Next up for the Mariners in the 9-hole, 0-for-1, Cole Young. Come on, Cole. First pitch, high and away, 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour by Reed Detmers, 1-0 count. Come on, Cole. One-zero pitch. Big swing and a miss. 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour there by Reed Detmers. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cole Young. And yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that we're sitting at 0, but again, like you mentioned, Roy, it's better than being down 1-0, 3-0, 5-0, and feeling like we're not going to come back, you know, even though we know that we can rally in the 8th and the 9th, but we have to be in striking distance. And that's usually only like a run or 2. If we're down by more than that, then good luck. I mean, unless, you know, we end up having someone hit a big bomb, but considering half the lineup is slumping, that's a big ask. So, but once we start raking, then things are going to become more possible. When we get down by 3 or more, once in a while, we will come back from it. 1-2 pitch, and gets a little piece. Count still remains 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cole Young. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour by Detmers. And again, when you end up going against lefties and we have our worst lineup with no Dominic Canzone or Luke Raley, it's tough. 1-2 pitch, check swing, and they say he goes around. Damn it. And that is 2 away. Down goes Cole Young. Next up, 0 for 1 with a base on ball, Rob Refsnyder. So essentially, he's starting off, 1 for 10? And then the one, thing that he did is he took a walk. But to start off the year with a walk and you haven't got a hit yet, and you're only playing against left-handed pitching, not ideal. But at least he ended up getting on base for the first time this season. First pitch is high and away, 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour, 1-0 count. And at some point, someone needs to, phone call Dan Wilson and say, stop putting Refsnyder as a leadoff hitter. It's a waste of a spot. If you're going to play him, fine. Play him in the bottom of the order. Don't play him leadoff. It's like the dumbest thing fucking possible. 1-0 pitch ends up being a strike to Refsnyder. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Detmers to Refsnyder. Reed Detmers on the mound. Rob Refsnyder in the box. One-two pitch. High and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Detmers to Refsnyder. Two-two pitch. High and away. Good eye there by Rob. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Rob Refsnyder. Take the walk, Rob, if it's there. There we go. And again, if you're struggling, at least find a way. And this is the best game that Rob has had. He hasn't been able to get a hit yet, but he has been walked twice. And he easily could have went and swung at that garbage low and away. And, at least Rob is finding a way to get on base. And again, he's definitely struggled, but at least today he's doing something positive. And we can acknowledge that. Next up, 0 for 2 with a K. It's the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. On deck is Julio Rodriguez. First pitch, high and away. And good job there by Logan O'Hoppe of getting that mitt on that glove, as we have the Angel fans are completely bored of this game already doing the wave. You typically don't do the wave until like the 8th inning or beyond, but I guess if you're an Angel fan, you have to do it in the 5th because nothing else is happening in this game. Top of the 5th inning, 0-0. Runner at first, Rob Refsnyder with 2 outs. I don't think I've seen a team do a wave before the 8th inning this season, but, I guess there's a first for everything. Detmers on the mound, big dumper in the box. Two hits for the Mariners, only 1 for the Angels, no errors, lots of wind. Pitching has been great, but again, at some point, once the starters, go out, we'll really see whose bullpen is better, and that will probably determine the winner. 1-0 pitch, high and inside. 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour by Detmers. 2 balls and no strikes to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And we haven't used Bizzardo or Brash in that previous series against the Yankees, so we should be able to have some quality pieces come in, obviously for Wu when he's ready. 2-0 pitch, high and away. 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour on the corner. 2 balls and 1 strike to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. I'll take anything. Doesn't even have to be a fucking home run. Just get on base. 2-1 pitch, takes a strike down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Two-two pitch. Hard hit ball into right field, out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Reed Detmers on the mound. Big dumper in the box. Come on, Cal. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Top of the 5th inning in a pitcher's duel between Detmers and Wu. Runner at first, Ref Snyder, who's been able to get on base for the first time in a Seattle uniform twice with walks. 2-2 pitch. Cal pops it up into shallow left field. Wind is carrying that ball, and it's caught in foul territory for out number 3. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 5th inning and see who's next up for the Angels. Next up for the Angels, 0 for 1. Right fielder in the 6th hole, Joe Adell. Batting second in the 7th hole, 0 for 1 with a K, left fielder Josh Lowe. And batting third in the 8th hole, 0 for 1, catcher Logan Ohapi. And on the mound for the Mariners, our ace, Brian Wu. Gained another sub since the last commercial break. Appreciate you. 89 subs to go to 23,700. All right, we broke 100 likes finally. Thank you so much. We're at 107. 93 to 200. Right now, it's time. We need a rally at some point. I mean, we're already halfway through the game. Wu has been electric, but we're going to need the bats to come alive. And again, both hitters from both teams, have struggled against Detmers and Wu. And once those two guys go out, then the game, pretty much starts over. And then we'll see whoever's bullpen is better is going to win this game. Bottom of the 5th inning, 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Angels. 0 for 1, Joe Adell. First pitch from Wu to Adell. Fouls it behind the plate. Sinker, 95 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Wu on the mound. Joe Adell in the box. .37 home runs and 95 ribbies last season. A very productive year for Joe Adell. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside. Should be a ball. If they had the ABS challenge, that would be one to challenge. But now it's no balls and 2 strikes, but it should be 1 ball and 1 strike. But, we've had a couple of those on Mariner batters as well. 0-2 pitch, hard hit ball towards third base with a laser and foul. Change up 87 miles an hour there by Brian Wu. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the 5th inning, 0-0 here early between the Mariners and the Angels. We have a pitcher's duel between Brian Wu and Reed Detmers. 2 hits for the Mariners, 1 for the Angels, and that's what we have at the moment. 0-2 pitch and fouled behind the plate by Joe Adell. No balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Adell. And Detmers, 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 3 Ks, 79 pitches, 48 strikes. ERA of 2.79, coming into the game with a 5.79 ERA. So he's been able to bring that down to 3. Let's see what Wu's is here after this pitch. 0-2 pitch, hard hit ball towards third base and foul. And then Brian Wu, 4 innings pitch, 1 hit, no earned runs, only 1 walk, 5 Ks, 60 pitches, 38 strikes. So about 20 less pitches for Brian Wu, and his ERA is 1.80, coming into the game with an ERA of 3. TJ, appreciate you. Someone's got to get the party started, you know, instead of just waiting for someone else to get it started. So I appreciate that. Big swing and a miss, and Brian Wu with another punch out. There we go. Another punch out there for Brian Wu. Appreciate you. Every dollar counts. $2 holla. 98 to go. You know, and again, that vet visit for Paisley is still something that needs to happen. So anything that can be done will definitely help. Next up with one away is Josh Lowe. First pitch from Wu to Lowe, takes a strike looking with the four-seam fastball, low and away, 94 miles an hour, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss by Lowe, getting behind in the count now with that slider, 86 miles an hour by Wu, getting electric. No balls and 2 strikes to Josh Lowe. Wu on the mound, Lowe in the box. Appreciate you, TJ. We're at 2:98 to go. 0-2 pitch, hard hit ball into left field and out of play. Four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, there by Wu. Bottom of the 5th inning, 0-0 here early. Wu on the mound, Josh Lowe in the box. Appreciate you, TJ, my man. Oh-2 pitch. Low and into the dirt. Sweeper 83 miles an hour by Brian Wu. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Wu on the mound. Josh Lowe in the box. Yeah, there's going to be RBIs, runs, and even maybe some home runs before this one is over. Just got to wait for the starting pitching to go out. 1-2 pitch. But I mean, the way that Brian Wu is pitching, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if he pitched 7 innings, you know, so that way we would only have to go with maybe Luzardo and then Munoz, or Brash and Munoz, something of that nature, if we can have him go as long as possible, as long as he's still playing well. Pitches outside with a slider. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Josh Lowe. 2-2 pitch, and that's fouled off towards first base. Slider 85 miles an hour by Wu. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 5th, 0-0 between the Mariners and the Angels. I mean, based on how this game has gone so far, honestly, it could go either way. I mean, really, it's going to come down to whoever's bullpen is better. Mariners have 2 hits, Angels have 1, so it's anybody's guess. But, I mean, I think we're a little bit more desperate for a win than them. You know, because we're actually a contender this year. They're not, you know, to be able to go on a deep playoff run. Nobody has the Angels going to the playoffs, but a lot of people have us going on a deep run. 3-2 pitch, popped up. Should be a routine play here for Julio Rodriguez, and there it is. No fly zone in effect, and that is 2 away. Nice job there by Julio. Low flies out to center to the no-fly zone, Julio Rodriguez. And we can always count on Julio and his defense. There's no doubt about that, even if the hitting is somewhat on a little bit of a slow start. Next up is Logan O'Hoppe. First pitch, low and away from Wu to O'Hoppe. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour by Brian Wu. 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Wu to O'Hoppe. Yeah, I'm trying to go through. I'm trying to go through a little bit of everything. I got 3 of the newer ones that I just played, a few minutes ago, and then I'll go through the library and see, because there's a lot of stuff that he has that really doesn't match, like a sports stream. It sounds good, but it's like, it's for a different purpose and whatnot. So, but I'll definitely go through a lot of the things that I have here in the bucket. 2-1 pitch, low and away. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour. 3 balls and 1 strike to Logan Ohapi. Because some of the stuff is a little slower. Some of it has more of like kind of an, R&B type of feel. ABS challenge there, and that is a ball. But again, he can do any type, hip hop, rap, reggae, techno. I mean, he's super talented, but, I have to try to select things that I think that kind of vibe with the baseball vibe, as well as football. That's primarily what we do for the most part, even though we'll do a little bit of everything. 3-1 pitch to Ohapi. Shallow center field. Julio Rodriguez is there in the no-fly zone, and that is out number 3. Nice job, Julio. End of the 5th inning, 0-0, Mariners and Angels. And let's see who's up next here for the Mariners in the top of the 6th. And now it's going to be a 3-inning sprint, and again, Detmers is at 79 pitches. Wu is at 75. So, both guys after the 6th inning will probably be done, based off pitch count, you would assume, because they'll be at probably somewhere between 10 and 20 pitches. So it'll put them under 100, but somewhere in the 90s realistically, unless you can get, 3 guys out on, 5-6 pitches, which is possible as well. But we assume that this will be the last inning. And then, 7th, 8th, and 9th will be very critical because whoever's bullpen is better, more than likely is going to win this game because the hits will start coming, you would assume, unless, the bullpen ends up being electric, which it could be. If we end up going Bizardo, Brash, Munoz, it might be a tough sledding for them, but we'll see who they bring in on their end. Next up for the Mariners in the top of the 6th, 0-for-2, center fielder in the no-fly zone, Julio Rodriguez. Batting second, 1-for-2 with the bloop single into center field, starting to find a little bit of his rhythm. First baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. And batting third, 1-for-1 with a base on ball, left fielder Randy Arozarena. I wouldn't mind a little small ball in the last 3-4 innings, someone dropping a bunt down like Victor Robles or JP Crawford, something to get a guy on base, and then hopefully we can steal a bag to get someone on second if, someone doesn't already hit a double. And then we have a chance, for someone to get an RBI or a home run, but it definitely has been a pitcher's duel so far. Logan with a $5. Appreciate that. Another $5 holla on the Dono train. Yeah, and honestly, I feel that, if I ever was contacted, by, radio or TV, I feel that, it's not out of my realm. I feel very confident. I put a lot of time and energy and preparation in every stream that I do. I've been doing this for 14 years. This is my 10th year on YouTube. And, it's good to have an alternate voice that knows the team, that has passion, but also is very educated on all the other 29 teams in the league. It's not that I'm just a Mariner expert. I try to be an expert of the MLB overall. I try to give you guys some good entertainment with the music, with, obviously Brooks Beats. He's the best, obviously with the beats on YouTube. And again, we just have to pray that the hits will start to come alive here for the Mariners and we can get this done. Shout out to Logan and shout out to TJ. We're at 7 on the Dono train, 93 to go. Appreciate you. First pitch to Julio Rodriguez ends up being a ball. 1-0 count. Tries to jam him high and inside with a 92-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball. 1-0 pitch, crushed to left field and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. But Brooks has been on a grind. I mean, he's pumped out over 200 beats in like 4 months. And I mean, anybody that's a beat maker or a producer can make beats, but are they actually quality beats? And, he takes a lot of time and energy and effort. Very talented individual. Me and him used to work together. And, out of all the friends that I used to work with, he definitely is the most talented. And again, if we can support each other, until he ends up getting his big break, I'm definitely going to do everything I can to see him be successful. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Julio Rodriguez. Reed Detmers on the mound. Julio Rodriguez in the box. 2-1 pitch. Tries to jam Julio, and he crushes it into right field, out of play. Slider 85 miles an hour by Detmers. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. 2-2 pitch. And another ball crushed out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. But we're just trying to be able to, make up our ground. Obviously we're going to be #1 for Seattle Mariner live play-by-play and reactions on YouTube. Got the #1 sports channel in Oregon, and then we're just trying to get that to Washington and California at some point as well. Throw to first, and down goes Julio as he strikes out swinging, and they still throw to first, and that is 1 away. Next up, 1 for 2, first baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. On deck in the 5-hole, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. First pitch, Naylor crushes it into left field. And that's an easy out there for Los Angeles, and that is 2 away. But at least he's starting to hit the ball into the outfield, because again, once he finds that timing down, he'll be able to hit it into the gap. And, obviously he was the last guy to be able to get a hit, not including Ref Snyder. And again, he's getting outs, out there, but it's much better than a slow dribbler off like a check swing or just barely being able to get it. And again, we're starting to see Naylor find a little bit of rhythm, even though he was out on that play. Next up is Randy Arozarena. First pitch from Detmers to Randy. Big swing and a miss. 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour there by Reed Detmers. 0-1 count. Come on, Randy. 0-1 pitch. A hard hit ball towards first. Throw to first. Run, Randy. And Randy actually hustling, which is something that I'm not used to watching, and didn't get to first that time either. But again, it definitely is something that fans like myself and others will notice. What are you doing when nobody's watching? And what are you doing, when it looks like you're 99% out? Are you still hustling? Because you just never know that throw to first, if that first baseman ends up dropping that ball, or if it goes over his head. And sometimes that split second, if you're running hard, sometimes you'll end up being safe. But if you just give up and you just jog to first, you're always going to be out 100% of the time, even if the throw is off. So, just little things. Obviously we know in left field on ground balls, Randy is still a liability. But pop-ups, he's fantastic. But those ground balls, those are the things that we need to improve on. And then once he gets the ground ball, throw a laser, like Julio and Victor do. Don't just lob it like you just don't give a shit. Every little thing, is noticed. And, I've seen a little improvement for him running to first, which is, I guess, better than nothing, but we'll see how he approaches ground balls in the left field as the season continues. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning and see who's next up for the Angels. On the mound still is Brian Wu. This should be probably his last inning. Next up, in the 9-hole, former Yankee, now Angel, second baseman, 1 for 1, Oswald Peraza. Batting second at the top of the order, shortstop, leadoff hitter, Zach Neto. And batting third, 0 for 0, with a base on ball and a walk, Mike Trout. We gained another sub since the last commercial break. Appreciate that. 88 subs to go to 23,700. All right, we're at 111 likes, 89 more to get to 100. And a little slow dribbler there, JP Crawford. Nice laser throw to Naylor. And that's what we've been missing. Again, nice job there by JP Crawford. JP might not be able to hit very well, and again, he'll be able to get his timing down as he gets to play more before Colt Emerson gets called up. But one thing that we can count on is JP Crawford's defense. Nice job. Peraza grounds out to JP, throw to Naylor, 1 away. Next up is Zach Neto. First pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle with a sweeper, 81 miles an hour, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, popped up, Shallow right field. Victor Robles is there. Ooh. And he had to take a step back. That made me a little nervous there, but he caught it. And that is 2 away. Nice job there by Robles. And obviously you got Luke Raley that can play right field. And eventually, once he gets called up, Lazaro Montes plays right field as well. So we got Cade Anderson. We got Ryan Sloan as pitchers waiting in the wings. We got Colt Emerson that can play shortstop or second waiting in the wings, as well as Lazaro Montes that can play right field. Future is very bright in Seattle. Next up is Mike Trout. First pitch is high and away, but in the zone. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour by Wu. 0-1 count. We got Eduard Bizardo and Gabe Spire warming up. And hopefully they go with Eduard Bizardo instead of Gabe, because Gabe is unreliable, at least at this point. 1-0 pitch. Hard hit ball by Mike Trout. Deep center field. But Randy is there with Julio. Thank God. And that is out number 3. You finally pitch to Trout and he almost hits a home run. Oh, thank God that didn't go out of the park there. I mean, even if it would have been, 1-0, 2-0, depending on how the inning would have ended. I mean, based on how the game is gone, the game could end as a 1-0 final. So you want to make sure that you're trying to keep it as close as possible for as long as possible until the bats start heating up. All right, Mariners. End of the 6th inning. We got a 3-inning sprint. Again, both pitchers. Let's look at the line. So let's take a quick look here. Okay, so Reed Detmer, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 4 Ks, 88 pitches, 55 strikes with a 2.53 ERA. He should be done. And then you got with Brian Wu, 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks. He's only had 80 pitches, 52 strikes, and 1.50 ERA. So you could actually have Wu go 1 more inning, and that might actually be something that they need to consider instead of just throwing out Gabe or Bizardo. And if they fuck up, we might lose. So we'll see. But I mean, Wu has been pretty electric at this point. I mean, he's got a 1-hitter. I say let him go, for 1 more inning and see if he can complete the 7th. And then you can go with Bizardo or Gabe and then maybe Munoz to close it out. But we'll see how it goes. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2 in the 6 hole, Brendan Donovan. Batting second in the 7 hole, 0 for 2 with a K, shortstop J.P. Crawford. And batting third, 0 for 2 in the 8 hole, right fielder Victor Robles. Come on, baby. And that's why it's so important, that we have Donovan leading off, giving us that confidence and that vibe instead of having Rob Refsnyder. Even though Refsnyder has gotten 2 walks, and this is his most productive game so far, it's going to be a better, to have Donovan lead off no matter what. Righty pitcher, lefty pitcher, I don't care. Ichiro wouldn't be going from the 1 to the 6 ever, so why are we doing it to Donovan? Well, Julio plays center, not in right field, so... And I hear my pup. Hold on, honey. Lay down. Lay down. Good girl. Lay down. Good girl. 0-1 pitch. High and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Brendan Donovan. Come on, Donnie. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brendan Donovan. Come on, Donnie. 1-2 pitch. A little hard hit ball into the infield. Run, Donnie. Safe. Oh, they call him out. Challenge. Challenge. That was close. But I don't think they're going to. I want to see a replay to see how close this was. Donnie was running really hard there to first. Nice hard hit ball. Kind of a weird angle. He ends up fumbling the bag. I don't know. I think he might be safe. Peraza ends up, dropping the ball initially. So the first replay looked like he was safe. The second replay that I just saw, he looks out. So I don't know which replay, board they're going to be looking at. But initially, he looked like it was, 50-50. Tie goes to the runner. Second replay looked like he might have been safe. And I mean, if you're going to say that his heel got first base before the foot went down, but where is it in his glove? But then this last replay, he looks out, but where is the ball in the mitt? Is it still like in the air, or did it hit the back pocket of the mitt? Kind of hard to see on that reverse angle. But that last replay, to me, I want him to be safe, but it looks like he's out. But we'll see what they decide. But it's pretty close. First replay looks safe. Last two replays I've seen, he looks out. So unless they say that the heel before the foot went down, because obviously the foot was still up, the toes, but the heel might have been able to get pretty close. But I don't know. It looks out to me, but, we'll see if they end up calling him safe. And also with the Angels first baseman there, Shawnuel, looks like his foot moved a little bit too. They're taking quite a long time looking at this. It's very close. Runner is out. Okay. That's what I thought, but, you never know with the replay. All right, next up, 0 for 2 with a K, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Come on, J.P. We know you can do it defensively. You got a laser of an arm, defensively, to throws to first, but we need something to, in your first game of the season, since he was injured. See if he can give us a little bit of magic here, little Mariner magic, little Sodo mojo. First pitch is low and away. Four-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour from Reed Detmers to J.P. Crawford. 1-0 count. Come on, J.P. Sometimes heroes are the least likely individuals. 1-0 pitch, low and away with a slider. 85 miles an hour there by Reed Detmers. 2 balls and no strikes to J.P. Crawford. Come on, Mariner Moose. We need you, baby. Angels challenge, and it ends up being a strike. So instead of a 2-0 count, now it goes to 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. One pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Top of the 7th inning, 0-0 between the Mariners and the Angels. Seattle's got 2 hits. Angels only have 1. Woo's got a 1-hitter. Detmers has got a 2-hitter. 1-1 pitch. Or 2-1 pitch. Low and away. Count now is 3 balls and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Sinker 94 miles an hour, low and at the knees by Detmers. 3 balls and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. 3-1 pitch. Fouls that one off into left field, out of play. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour by Detmers. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count is full to J.P. Crawford. Detmers on the mound. J.P. Crawford in the box. Come on, J.P. Three-two pitch, high and away, and a great walk there for J.P. Crawford. Yeah, Woo's at 80 pitches, so he could come out in the bottom of the 7th, but I don't know if they will. They might just bring in Gabe Spire or Edward Bizzardo. My pup just walked by. Lay down, honey. I'll get you a snack in a little bit. And we got a mound visit here by the Angels. Now, we don't know if Wu is coming back in. I mean, like I said, they had Bizzardo and they had Spire warming up. He's only at 80 pitches, and he's got a 1-hitter. So if it was me, I would throw him back out there and see if he can get an out or 2 and then put in someone. I mean, best case scenario, he retires the side. But, I mean, it really just depends on how many pitches he's at that point. I mean, you don't really want him to get to 95 to 100 if not needed. So and they're going to keep Detmers out there for at least another batter or 2. Reed Detmers on the mound. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2 in the 8-hole right fielder, Victor Robles. Come on, Mariners. Try dance up. Let's go, M's. First pitch to Victor Robles is high and away with a curveball. Off speed, 70 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Try dance up. Let's go, M's. We got to grind this out. I mean, 0-0 isn't ideal, but I mean, it's much better than being down 3-0 or 5-0 like we were against the Guardians and the Yankees. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss, high and away. Change up 78 miles an hour by Reed Detmers. Been a pitcher's duel between Detmers and Wu so far, who have been electric for both teams. 1-1 pitch, low and into the dirt. Good save there by Logan O'Hoppe, the Angels catcher. 2 balls and 1 strike to Victor Robles. Two 1 pitch. Hard hit ball by Robles into right field, out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Top of the 7th inning, 0-0 here early between the Mariners and Angels. Two pitch. Hard hit ball towards first base and foul. Count still remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Victor Robles. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Top of the 7th inning in a pitcher's duel, 0-0. And again, it's going to be a 3-inning sprint. Whoever's bullpen is better is going to end up winning this game more than likely. 2-2 pitch. And JP is out at second. That was a terrible slide there by JP. Should have went head first, went feet first, and was out by a mile. And I get it. You know, you want to be able to try to get a runner in scoring position, but that was not a very good time to run there by JP. I mean, the pitcher threw to first base, not at home, and JP almost tears his ACL going into second base. That was not ideal. But again, first game back, sometimes you're not going to be on point. And Detmers, instead of throwing home, threw to first after he saw JP Crawford on the corner of his eye, and a very easy out there. 2-2 pitch. And a nice hit into left field by Victor Robles. And if JP would have fucking stayed, we would have runners at first and second. But it is what it is. Nice job there by Victor Robles. That makes me feel a little bit better after JP Crawford's, fumble, going from first to second, trying to steal a bag. Next up in the 9-hole, second baseman Cole Young. Come on, Cole. And I think that's going to be the end for Reed Detmers. All right, Detmers is done. I'm going to go get a snack for my pup here real quick as they make the pitching change. Previous series against the Yankees was tough, but right now, against the Angels and Mike Trout, it's not getting any easier, but we are in position. Top of the 7th with a runner at first and 2 outs, 0-0, but hopefully not for long. Looks like Silseth is coming in. All right, Chase Silseth coming in. See if I can find a photo quickly. And we finally get a righty to come in, and maybe that'll be the difference. All right, Chase Silseth coming in. Lay down. And we got Cole Young in the box. Let's see if Cole can end up getting us on the board here. Yeah, we're not going to have Refsnyder batting anymore. Yeah, I would assume Dominic Canzone is coming in next. Him or Luke Raley, preferably Canzone, even though Raley's been pretty good as well. First pitch fouled off there by Cole Young. 0-1 count. Splitter 86 miles an hour there by Chase Silseth. Throw to first, and Robles is safe. And both teams have been pretty aggressive, because we haven't really had too many opportunities with guys on base. So, there's been, a few throws to first to try to keep those runners honest. And again, Victor cannot fall asleep here. 0-1 pitch, high and away by Chase Silseth. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cole Young. Silseth on the mound. Cole Young in the box. Let's go, Cole. And Cole's been the second best offensive player to Brandon Donovan and the best overall player, offense and defense, on the Mariners so far. 1-1 pitch, hard hit ball into left field. Oh, just foul. Holy cow. If that was a few inches towards the right, that would have been a homer. Holy cow. Top of the 7th inning with the runner at first. Victor Robles with 2 outs. 0-0 here in the top of the 7th. Chase Silseth in the game for Reed Detmers. And Cole Young 0 for 2 with a K in the box. Come on, Cole. Victor goes, and they try to jam Young, and he fouls it out of play. Trying to do a little hit and run. They got Dominic Canzone on deck here for Rob Refsnyder. Thank God. One-two pitch from Silseth to Young. Big swing and a miss and a rare strikeout there for Cole Young. We leave one stranded, and that is the end of the Mariners in the top of the 7th inning. So we're going to have a 2-inning sprint after this. But at least Dominic Canzone will have an opportunity to try to help us win. That'll be better. Even though Refsnyder ended up, getting a couple walks, but, he's not going to hit home runs like Dom. So hopefully the Italian stallion Dominic Canzone can be a factor. And I don't know if we're going to see any Luke Raley today, but I wouldn't mind seeing some Luke Raley as well before the game is up. Let's see who's up next here at the bottom of the 7th inning for the Los Angeles Angels. Next up for the Angels, 0 for 2 with a K, first baseman in the 3-hole, Nolan Shonowell. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, DHing in the 4-hole, or Jorge Soler. And batting third, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks in the 5-hole, third baseman, Yoan Moncada. And let's take a look to see if they're going to have Wu go out. I don't see any indication of anybody coming in for Wu just yet. I mean, considering he's pitched a 1-hitter, he deserves the chance to at least try to finish this inning. So hopefully we get the good Wu and not the tired Wu. And hopefully he'll be able to retire the side, and maybe that'll be the difference in the game. We gained 5 more subs since the last commercial break. Appreciate that. 83 subs to go to 23,700. All right, we're at 125 likes. With 238 people in the room, 25 more to 150, 75 more to 200. Career versus California teams, the Athletics, Giants, Angels, Dodgers, and Padres. 26 starts, 13-2 record, 2.62 ERA, strikeout rate of 26%, and a walk rate of only 5. And he's got a 1-hitter right now. 80 pitches, 52 strikes. His ERA was 3 coming into the game. It's down to 1.50. They should have started him on opening day over Logan Gilbert. I don't know what they were thinking. And even if Logan Gilbert was still, 2-0, let's say, and he pitched well, still Brian Wu deserved the shot to get it done. And it looks like Leo Rivas is coming in, I believe, for Donovan at third. I don't know if I like that, but, we'll see where it goes. It's like Donovan's like our best hitter. Do we really want Rivas to come in, just because it's a righty? And they want to get Rivas a little bit of playing time here late? Like, if Donovan is banged up, yeah, but if he's not banged up, like, is this really a smart move? And again, like, we've known with, Mariner managers in the past, sometimes they make a move that's, kind of questionable, but hopefully it ends up working out for us. Bottom of the 7th inning, 0-0, Mariners and Angels. Mike with a tour. Appreciate you. $2 holla from Mike. Thank you so much. First pitch is low and at the knees to Nolan Shonowell. 1-0 count. 93 mile an hour four-seam fastball by Brian Wu. Wu on the mound. Shonowell in the box. 1-0 pitch. Hard hit ball towards first base. Little flip back to Brian Wu. And that is one away. Good defense there by Josh Naylor and Brian Wu as they chuckle about that delivery and toe tap on the bag. Nice job by Wu. Next up for the Angels, DHing in the 4-hole, Jorge Soler, 0 for 2 with a K. On deck in the 5-hole, third baseman Yoan Moncada. Mariners have 3 hits so far. Angels only have 1. Wu's got a 1-hitter. Can't lose if Wu's pitching this well. You have to take advantage of every opportunity when the pitching staff is doing their job. First pitch to Soler, pops it up to the no-fly zone. Julio is there. And that is 2 away. Nice job by Julio Rodriguez in the no-fly zone. 2 away. Next up for Brian Wu. In the 5-hole, third baseman Yoan Moncada. Keep raking it, Wu. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Mike with another tour. Appreciate you. Every dollar counts. 0 for 2 with 2 Ks to Yoan Moncada so far. Bottom of the 7th, nobody on and 2 outs. First pitch in there for a strike to Moncada. 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch, a hard hit ball towards first base and foul. No balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Moncada. Oh, 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wu to Moncada. Bottom of the 7th inning, nobody on with 2 outs. 0-0 here late between the Mariners and the Angels. One 2 pitch, hard hit ball, shallow right field. And Julio and Robles bump into each other, but Julio ends up making the grab, and that is out number 3. Great job by Brian Wu. Sensational 1-hitter. A little bit more communication would be nice, but at least Julio didn't drop it as he kind of bumped shoulders with Victor Robles, and that is out number 3. End of the 7th inning, 0-0, Mariners and Angels. Next up, filling in for Rob Refsnyder, Dominic Canzone. The Italian Stallion. Let's get it, baby. Batting second, 0 for 3 with a K. Catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And batting third, 0 for 3 with a K. Center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Tridents up. Let's go, M's. Brian Wu, 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks, 87 pitches, 57 strikes. His ERA was 3 coming into the game. Now it's only 1.38. And I feel like last year when I started putting pitchers on the thumb, we would always lose. When I would showcase Kirby or Gilbert or Wu or Castillo or Miller or Emerson Hancock. So I usually kind of stay away. I don't know if it's just kind of jinxing and whatnot, but usually I'll go with some of the regular positional players. And it just seems like every time I want to be able to give love back to our, pitching staff, and I put them on the thumb, we end up getting our ass kicked. So I didn't put him on the thumb today. And lo and behold, Brian Wu ends up being amazing. Looks like Pomerantz is coming up here for the Angels. All right, Drew Pomerantz coming in. Oh, they still got Ref Snyder out there. Jesus Christ. All right, Drew Pomerantz, the former Cub, going to Rob Ref Snyder. Golly. 0-1 count. And see, they do this shit on purpose against the Mariners too. They try to make us, go against, our weakest lineup, and again, our four top guys are Donovan, Cole Young, Luke Raley, and typically Dominic Canzone. So if you end up going against lefty pitching, that means no Luke Raley or Dominic Canzone, and it definitely hurts our lineup. And it's not like Cal and Julio have gotten going yet. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Pomerantz to Ref Snyder. 2-1 pitch, popped up by Rob. And should be a routine play at first base, and it is. And that is 1 away. I mean, at least that Rob had his most productive game today, getting a couple walks. But again, it would have been much better to keep Donovan at leadoff hitter, no matter if it's a lefty or a righty. Next up, 0 for 3 with a K, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. On deck, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Top of the 8th inning with nobody on and 1 out. Still 0-0 here late. Got to find a way to win. Pitches low and at the knees to big dumper, Cal Raleigh, 1-0 count. Knuckle curve, 83 miles an hour there by Drew Pomerantz. .1-0 pitch, high and away, 4-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour, outside of the zone. 2 balls and no strikes to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. 2-0 pitch, high and away, 3 balls and no strikes to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And whoever's, bullpen is better is probably more than likely going to squeak out a 1-0 victory, or maybe a 2-1 or 2-0 victory, depending on if we get a home run or not. 3-0 pitch, and that'll be outside, and that is a 4-pitch walk. And the big dumper makes his way to first base in the top of the 8th with 1 out. I mean, this would be a great time for Julio to go yard, but again, it's been kind of slim pickings for Cal, Julio, Naylor, and Randy lately. Come on, Julio. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Let's make this 2-0. First pitch to Julio, crushes it into right field, out of play, 0-1 count. Hell, at this point, I'll take anything. A walk, hit by a pitch, as long as he doesn't get hurt. A single, a double, triple, home run, anything. .01 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Julio. 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour by Drew Pomerantz. No balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Well, you're the one that said that he was injured. The announcers in the game have not said that he's injured. I mean, he might be, but they haven't mentioned it. They just brought in Leo Rivas at third, but that doesn't mean that he's injured. 0-2 pitch, hard hit ball up the middle by Julio Rodriguez, and it gets past the infield all the way to center field. And now we got runners at first and second. Nice job there by Julio Rodriguez. Next up, in the 4-hole, first baseman Josh Naylor. Nice single to center by Julio. Cal Raleigh to second. And this might be the best chance that we're going to have to be able to get something going here. Come on, Naylor. If Naylor can hit it into the gap in the outfield, we'll be able to score a run. But if he hits a little slow dribbler up the middle, we're fucked. Could be a double play. Or maybe we can end up getting him walked. First pitch, high and inside to Nails, Josh Naylor, who's 1 for 3, 1-0 count. Come on, Josh. Yeah, but just because a player is pulled doesn't mean that they're injured. Sometimes they want to get reps for other players. I mean, you're assuming. .1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and in the zone. Four-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour there by Pomerantz. 1-1 pitch, hard hit ball by Naylor into left field, out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. 0-0 here late in the top of the 8th inning. Cal at second, Julio at first with 1 out. Come on, Naylor. And Naylor calls time. Come on, Josh. And Randy Arosarena on deck. 4 hits for the Mariners, 1 for the Angels. Wu had a 1-hitter. Got to win this game. We can't have someone pitch a 1-hitter and lose. 1-2 pitch. And Naylor pops it up. Shallow infield, should be a routine play here. And that is 2 away. All right, let's see if Randy can be a hero here. Top of the 8th with runners at first and second. Cal and Julio with 1 out. In the 5-hole, left fielder Randy Arosarena. And, a 3-run blast would be best case scenario. But, I mean, at this point, I'll take a single or double for an RBI to make it 1-0 because it feels like maybe getting 1 might be enough to win this game. First pitch to Arosarena, crushes it into right field. 0-1 count. Yeah, and if Donovan was injured, they'd be talking about it on the broadcast. They wouldn't just keep that secret or not talk about it. .01 pitch. Hard hit ball up the middle. Go, go, go! Run! Run! Ah. And that is out number 3. We leave 2 stranded again. And now we go to the bottom of the 8th. Still knotted up at 0. We just needed someone to get something into the outfield, and unfortunately, Naylor and Randy were not able to do it. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 8th and see who's up next here for the Angels. Next up for the Angels, 0 for 2 with a K, right fielder in the 6-hole, Joe Adell. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, left fielder from the Tampa Bay Rays, Josh Lowe. And batting third, 0 for 2, catcher in the 8-hole, Logan O'Hoppe. And Wu is at 87 pitches, 57 strikes with a 1.38 ERA, 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks. And we're going to go with Matt Brash. Let's go. And hopefully this is the good Brash, not the bad Brash. I mean, I don't care if we win this game 1-0 in regulation or in extras, but we have to win this for Wu. Let's go, Matt. Matt Brash coming in for the Mariners. And usually him and Bizzardo are our 2 best in the pen, so We should have a good chance to be able to win this game. Someone just has to be a hero. Next up, 0 for 2 with a K, Joe Adell. On deck is Josh Lowe. And batting third, Logan Ohapi. And what a sensational outing from Brian Wu. Should have been the opening day starter over Logan Gilbert, no doubt. First pitch, 97-mile-an-hour fastball by Brash, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and inside to Joe Adell. 2 balls and no strikes here in the top of the eighth, or excuse me, bottom of the eighth with nobody on and no outs. 0-0 here late between the Mariners and the Angels. And we got a mound visit here after the second pitch. Behind in the count 2-0 for Matt Brash. Come on, Brash. Bullpen versus the Angels last season. ERA 1.44, 43.2 innings, 46 Ks to 12 walks, and only 2 home runs allowed. And hopefully Brash will be good here, and we'll have a chance. And obviously, you want to be able to get as many wins as possible and whatnot. But again, if the bats don't come alive when we have an electric performance on the mound and it's 0-0, we still know as Mariner fans that Wu did a great job, even if it doesn't end up, being a W in the win column for him personally. But if we end up getting the dub overall, it's still going to mean something momentum-wise moving forward. 2-0 pitch, and finally we get a strike in here with Joe Adell. Good mound visit by Cal. Always has that timing down, and when he can feel a pitcher potentially is starting to kind of lose his way. 2-0 pitch popped up and behind the plate and foul. Slider 86 miles an hour there by Brash. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Joe Adell. Come on, Brash. Finish strong here. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss and a punch out on Joe Adell. And that is 1 away. Nice job, Brash. And you got to think Bizzardo and Brash are our 2 best guys in the pen, so at least, we have that to work with. Next up for the Angels, the former Tampa Bay Ray, 0 for 2 with a K, Josh Lowe. First pitch into Lowe for a strike, 0-1 count. Bottom of the 8th inning with nobody on and 1 out, 0-0 here late between the Mariners and Angels. Brash on the mound, Lowe in the box. 0-1 pitch to Lowe, fouls it off behind the plate. Change up 91 miles an hour by Matt Brash. No balls and 2 strikes to Josh Lowe. Brash on the mound, Lowe in the box. Come on, Brash. 0-2 pitch, check swing. Did he go? And he does. Let's go. And that is 2 away. I mean, if it's anybody but Brash or Bizzardo, yeah, and those guys will fuck up because they're human once in a while, but they are the most trustworthy guys that we have, not including our closer, Andres Munoz, who has looked good and also looked terrible early in the season so far. Next up is Logan Ohapi, the catcher. First pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside. Beautiful slider there by Brash. 0-1 count. Big swing and a miss, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Logan Ohapi. Slider 85 miles an hour there by Brash. 0-2 pitch. Little dribbler towards third base and foul. Slider 85 miles an hour there by Brash. Bottom of the 8th inning with nobody on and 2 out. 0-0 here late between the Mariners and the Angels. Brash on the mound, Ohapi in the box. Hard hit ball towards third. Rivas is there. Throw to first. Got him. And that is out number 3. Nice job there by Matt Brash. And let's go to the top of the 9th inning and let's fucking win this game. Let's go. Great job by Brash in the bullpen. And again, considering he's our top 2 guy with Eduard Bizardo, it's nice to be able to see a guy that you normally believe in and he gets the job done. Brash, great job. Woo, exceptional. Now we have to try to find a way to win this. Next up for the Mariners, pinch hitting for Brendan Donovan, Leo Rivas. Batting second in the 7-hole, shortstop J.P. Crawford in his first game of the season. And batting third in the 8-hole, right fielder Victor Robles. I mean, I would like to see us drop a bunt down at some point. I don't know if I really would want to do it now. I was hoping that we would have been able to drop it down at some point, but all 3 batters are very good at dropping the bunt down. So, depending on what happens with Rivas, we'll see what the Mariners can cook up here in the top of the 9th. And it's probably the first time this year that we've had 3 consecutive guys in the order that can bunt. Sometimes small ball, it's not sexy, but sometimes it's, a way to find a victory. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 200 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs, which we have hit. Let's see if we can get to 20 or more. Gained 4 more subs since the last commercial break. 79 subs to go to 23,700. All right, we got 148 likes, only 52 to go to 200. And we got 331 in the room, so we should be able to get to 200. Let's go, baby. All right, baby, let's rally. We got Jordan Romano coming into the game. And let's go, Leo Rivas. As a Romano. First pitch to Rivas, takes a strike right down the middle. 0-1 count. And the announcers just said they don't know the reasoning with Donovan, going out. So is he injured? Is he not? Did he have to, go to the bathroom? Is it just wanting to get Rivas some reps? So it sounds like, there is no clarification yet until probably tomorrow morning, on the injury report, if we do see Donovan on there or not. Hopefully he's not, because he's been our best hitter besides Cole Young. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss by Rivas. No balls and 2 strikes. From Romano to Rivas. 0-2 pitch, low and away. Slider 85 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Come on, Leo. Mike with a tour. Pitch is high and inside, and does that hit Leo? Or did it end up hitting the bat? Now we have to figure out, did that hit him in the hand or the bat or both? And they have the trainers looking at Rivas. Hopefully he's okay. Mike in the building. What's good? So I'm looking at the replay there. It looks like it just gets the bottom of the barrel of the bat. It doesn't even look like it hit him. All right, umpires are huddled up to figure out if that actually hit him or not. Hit by pitch. Wow. I mean, I want things to be called fairly. That didn't look like it hit him. To me, that looked like it hit the bottom of the barrel of the bat because he was choking up on the bat. So the umps end up calling hit by pitch, but I think this will be overturned. You know, I don't think that it hit him. I mean, it might have stung his hands, you know, based off the vibration hitting the bottom of the barrel, but that did not look like it hit. I mean, it might have grazed his pinky, maybe, you know, but I don't think it hit him. I think it just hit the bottom of the barrel of the bat. So, but they're looking at it now in the replay booth. I mean, obviously Rivas's reaction, you know, and obviously having the trainers look at him, but it's not like he's the type of guy to pull a fast one. Interesting. Donovan not in the dugout, the announcers just said. Hopefully he's okay. We cannot afford Donnie to get hurt. We're still looking at the replay review here. They're probably looking at numerous angles here, but and if you're looking at the trajectory of the baseball after, you know, the ball supposedly hits either him or the bat, it looks like it hits the bat to me. Let's see what the umps say. Yep. Foul ball. See? I knew it didn't hit him. There's no need to cheat, you know, or try to pull a fast one. Just get the calls correct. You know, that's why we got the ABS and, you know, just based on the trajectory of the baseball, it would have went into a different direction if it would have hit him. It would have went straight down, you know, if it would have hit him, more than likely not, you know, going kind of outwards. But hopefully Leo will be able to settle in and recover here. Again, it's the top of the ninth, 0-0, Mariners and Angels. You know, Brian Wu pitched a gem with a one-hitter. Brash, you know, did well coming in, obviously, in the bottom of the eighth. And hopefully we'll be able to find a way to be able to win this game. You know, even if it ends up being 1-0, we'll take the victory. Come on, Leo. Romano on the mound. Leo Rivas in the box. 1-2 pitch. Low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Two pitch. Big swing and a miss, and down goes Leo, and that is 1 away. Next up for the Mariners in the 7-hole, shortstop J.P. Crawford. On deck in the 8-hole, right fielder Victor Robles. First pitch to JP in his first game back. Crushes it into left field, out of play. 0-1 count. Top of the 9th inning, 0-0 between the Mariners and the Angels. Romano on the mound, J.P. Crawford in the box. 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour, crushed by J.P. out of play. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. High and inside as J.P.'s batting helmet falls off his head. Has to take a step back. 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Come on, JP. Yeah, they said he's not in the dugout, so there might be a minor injury. Something's going on with him. Hopefully it's not serious. 1-1 pitch. In there for a strike to JP. 1 ball and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. It was outside of the zone, but we're out of challenges. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and down goes JP Crawford, and that is 2 away. Next up in the 8-hole, right fielder Victor Robles. I mean, we got 4 hits. The Angels have 1. So, I mean, if anyone is lost, it's Los Angeles. But, you know, it's not like it's been really a great day for either team. I mean, it's been a pitcher's duel on both ends. And, you know, we got to win this for Woo. And we got Luke Raley coming in for Victor Robles. Let's go, Luke. Luke maybe with a nuke. Come on, Luke. Come on, Luke. First pitch to Raley, crushes it out of play. 0-1 count. I was hoping that we would get a chance to get Raley at least 1 at-bat before this game was over. Still waiting on Dominic Canzone as well, the Italian stallion. 0-1 pitch from Romano. Big swing and a miss by Luke Raley. 95-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes to Luke Raley. Oh-2 pitch. Whoa! Wild pitch goes over Ohapi's head, all the way back to the backstop in the New York Life sign. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Luke Raley. Come on, Luke. 1-2 pitch from Romano. Check swing. Did he go? And he does not. Woo. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Luke Raley. Come on, Luke. Top of the 9th inning with nobody on and 2 outs. 0-0. Mariners and Angels here late. Seattle's got 4 hits today. Angels only have 1. Brian Wu with a 1-hitter. We have to win for him. 2-2 pitch. Raley crushes it into left field. Out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Luke Raley. Come on, Luke. Two pitch. Hard hit ball by Raley. And great defense there into the infield by Zach Neto, and that is out number 3, and they got Andres Munoz warming up, even though the game is 0-0. All right, we're going to the bottom of the 9th inning, and let's see who's up next here for the Angels, and I assume Mooney will be coming in. They just had the camera pan on him, so I assume that he's going to be the guy that's going to get the call here, even though we're not up 1-0 for a save. Next up, 1 for 2 in the 9-hole, the former Yankee, second baseman Oswald Peraza. Batting second, leadoff hitter, 0 for 3, shortstop Zach Neto. And batting third, 0 for 1 with the base on ball and getting hit by a pitch at his first at-bat, center fielder Mike Trout. Gained 2 more subs since the last commercial break. Thank you so much. 77 subs to go to 23,700. All right, Luke Raley's moving into right field there. And Mooney is coming in for Matt Brash. All right, we're at 162 likes, 38 more to get to 200 with 358 in the room. If we can get 38 out of 358, we'll hit 200. Yeah, Donovan is out of the game. Leo Rivas came in a few innings ago. He might be injured. We don't know yet. And if he is injured, hopefully it's just something minor, like cramping or something. All right, bottom of the ninth, 0-0, Mariners and Angels. We are rivals through and through. Mariners have 4 hits. The Angels only have 1. Brian Wu had a 1-hitter, 7-inning pitched, 1 hit, no runs, 6 Ks and 1 walk. And now we got our guy Mooney. And, there's been opportunities where he looked pretty good. And then he also blew a game so far in the early season for us. And hopefully we get the good Mooney here. First pitch is high and inside to Peraza, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch to Peraza. Big swing and a miss. Got him to bait on that one. Nice pitch there by Mooney. 1 ball and 1 strike from Andres Munoz to Oswald Peraza. One pitch from Munoz. Fouls it off himself as it bounces towards first. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning, 0-0 Mariners and Angels. I mean, it's much better than us being down 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. I mean, it's still stressful. You don't really know which way the game is going to go, but I mean, at least we're not down by multiple runs like we have been against the Guardians and Yankees. 1-2 pitch. And another ball there by Mooney. High and inside. 4-seam fastball, 98 miles an hour. 2-2 pitch. Hard hit ball towards third base and foul. Rivas ends up clutching that ball, but no throw to first because it was foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the 9th inning, 0-0 Mariners and Angels. Two pitch from Mooney, and that is fouled off towards first base with the slider, 87 miles an hour by Andres Munoz. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Oswald Peraza. Andres Munoz on the mound. Oswald Peraza in the box. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Come on, Mooney. 2-2 pitch. And he tried to jam him inside. Ball gets away from Cal, but throw to first and got him. And that is 1 away. Thankfully, Cal got to that ball, even though that check swing went around. It got away from Cal Raleigh, had to regroup, find the baseball, and a nice throw to first. Had it in the mitt, and it kind of fell out. And luckily, Peraza, kind of stutter-stepped and looked back at Cal. Otherwise, he might have been safe. And that is 1 away. Next up is Zach Neto. First pitch to Neto is low and away from Andres Munoz, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch to Neto, right down the middle for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike from Mooney to Neto. Bottom of the 9th inning. Nobody on with 1 out. Mariners with 4 hits today and no errors. The Angels with only 1 hit and no errors. Wu with a 1-hitter. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. Almost hit Neto on the leg there. And Neto jumps out of the way. 2 balls and 1 strike from Mooney to Neto. 2-1 pitch. And a nice save there by Cal Raleigh. Trying to trap that into the dirt. Munoz looks a little wild here. 3 balls and 1 strike to Zach Neto. Yeah, and then we have to be happy, how good of a defensive catcher Cal is. 3-1 pitch. And a hard hit ball towards first base and foul. Slider 86 miles an hour by Andres Munoz. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Andres Munoz on the mound for Seattle. Zach Neto in the box for the Angels. Appreciate that, Corey. Come on, Mooney. Finish strong. 3-2 pitch to Neto. Big swing and a miss. Got him. Back-to-back punch-outs there by Andres Munoz. I love it. And that is 2 away. And the hardest hitter now is left. Potentially the last out in the bottom of the ninth, center fielder Mike Trout. 0 for 1 with a base on ball, and he got hit in the shoulder in the first at-bat by Wu. And it looked like we had a little retaliation by Detmers trying to hit Julio, but missed, but it went behind him. Definitely got a nasty look from Julio when that happened in the next inning. First pitch from Mooney to Trout, takes a strike looking low in the zone, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, right down the middle, takes a strike looking to Trout. No balls and 2 strikes from Munoz to Trout. Bottom of the ninth inning with nobody on and 2 outs. No balls and 2 strikes to Mike Trout. 1 more strike, and we can get out of this. And we'll go to extras and try to win this game 1-0. 0-2 pitch to Trout. Big swing and a miss, and he retires the side. Let's go. Much better, than what he looked early in the season. Again, if you remember, one of those opportunities against the Guardians and the Yankees, normally Munoz, is one of the top 5 closers in the game, but he's human. Sometimes he fucks up and sometimes the other team, ends up raking. But today we was able to retire the side with punch outs. And that's what you kind of hope for anytime that he comes into a game. Great job by the pitching staff today overall. Brian Wu with a 1-hitter. Fantastic. Matt Brash getting out, of his opportunity unscathed. And then Mooney coming in and showing why he is a top 5 closer in the game, striking out the side. Great job. All right, let's win this fucking game, huh? Let's go to the top of the 10th inning and let's see if we can get the job done. Let's see if we have a chance based on our lineup. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks, second baseman Cole Young. And I highly doubt Ref Snyder will still have an opportunity there, but you never know. Batting second, we'll see if they end up making a swap. And then batting third, big dumper Cal Raleigh. And you already had Rivas come in for Donovan and Robles being substituted for Luke Raley. Bring in Dominic Canzone. Cole Young, Dominic Canzone, Cal Raleigh. Hopefully that's what they do. Let's go. Yankees pitching is the real deal this year because they not only dominated us, they've been dominating everyone. I mean, obviously the Giants stink, and they obviously were 3-0 going in against them, but Yankees pitching is the real deal. First pitch to Cole Young is high and inside, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, deep hit ball by Cole Young. Back. Oh, he drops it. Go, go, go. He's rounding second. Go to third. Go, baby, go. Go inside the park. Oh, baby. And yes. There we go. Ghost runner at second. Luke Raley scores 1-0. Mariners. Wow. I thought that he was going to hit a home run there. Got it on the wall and ended up hitting the wall, dropping the ball, and Cole Young with a triple. And Luke Raley, the ghost runner at second, scores. Oh my. 1-0 M's. What a triple by Cole Young. And he was this far away from potentially hitting a home run there. Oh my God. My goodness. Great speed there by Luke Raley, always hustling. Let's go. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Hell yeah. And they still got Ref Snyder in there because, of course, they have another left-handed fucking pitcher, right? Let's go. Oh, 1 pitch, big swing and a miss to Ref Snyder. No balls and 2 strikes from Suter to Ref Snyder. And again, I know they don't like to do lefty on lefty. I would rather have had Dominic Canzone get this at bat. Little slow dribbler right back to the pitcher. Throw to first and another out on Ref Snyder, and that is 1 away. Next up is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. On deck is Julio Rodriguez. If we can find a way to get Cole Young home from third, I mean, we might still be able to win 1-0, but if we get Cole Young, we definitely are going to win if we go up 2-0 or 3-0. I mean, 1-0, there's still a chance for them to come back, but if we get 2, you know, if Cal can end up, you know, getting an RBI, or if he ends up hitting a home run, or Julio does, you know, it should be enough, you would think. Big swing and a miss by the big dumper. 0-1 count. Suter on the mound. Big dumper in the box. We have to do this. I mean, when's the last time that we seen Wu on top of Brash and Mooney be this electric? You know, we have to find a way. We've held them to a one-hitter. And again, Cole Young showing that he's the best hitter on the team, not named Brandon Donovan. And hopefully Donnie's not injured. Seriously. 0-1 pitch. High and away to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. 1 ball and 1 strike. From Suter to Raleigh. Man, let's go. Let's go. One pitch. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Let's fucking go, baby. We need some insurance. 1-2 pitch. Cal pops it up. Should be a routine play, even though it's been windy in Los Angeles. And that wind carries that ball, but they got it, and that is 2 away. Find a way to get Cole Young to come home from third. And our potential last opportunity here in this inning with 2 outs, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. I mean, nothing would make me happier than if he goes yard here, but again, you know, we will take anything. RBI single would be fantastic. And they're going to intentionally walk Julio? Wow. And it's not like Julio's been good this year. Why would you do that? Okay. I mean, that's fine. So intentional walk to Julio, and they're going to go with Josh Naylor. Make him pay, Naylor. And Naylor has been able to get a few hits lately in a couple games. It would be really ironic if they end up, intentionally walking Julio and Naylor hits a 3-run bomb and we win 4-0, or even gets an RBI single here. But he's got to get it into the outfield. First pitch, high and inside to Josh Naylor, 0-1 count. Do we have a challenge here? And it is a strike. Mariners lose the challenge. And on the pitch graph, it's right on the line. I wouldn't have challenged that, but obviously I'm not in the box. Top of the 10th inning with runners at first and third. Cole Young at third with a beautiful triple to end up scoring Luke Raley. 1-0 Mariners. And we got Julio with an intentional walk and an 0-1 count from Suter to Naylor. Pitch is low and away, and Ohapi ends up getting it, but not after Julio scampers to second. Now we have runners at second and third with 2 outs. Come on, Mariners. Trident's up. Let's see if we can find a way to get 1 more insurance run. I mean, obviously 2 would be amazing, but, you know, just to get it to 2-0 would make me feel a little bit comfortable, a little bit more comfortable, obviously, in the bottom of the 10th. And time is called by Ohapi. Man, what a stressful game, you know. But again, not every game, is going to be the way that you think it's going to play out. And obviously going against the Guardians and Yankees, potentially 2 playoff teams in the first 2 series of the season, wasn't really ideal, you know, compared to if we would have played, 2 other bottom feeder teams and we would have ended up being, 6-1 or 7-0. But again, you have to be challenged early to see how you sit. And again, this Angel team's got the same record as us. We have expectations of trying to go deep into the playoffs and try to make our first World Series. Nobody has the Angels going to the playoffs, but they are our rival, and we know how tough they are. 1-1 pitch. And Naylor, yes, into the outfield. A blooper. Cole Young comes home. 2-0 Mariners. Hell yeah. And Julio comes home as well. Bang. 3-0 M's. We're going to win this now, baby. Let's go. I wasn't even expecting Julio to come home. I was like, okay, if we can get Cole Young to come home, fine. But since Julio was able to go from first to second on the wild pitch, Julio's got that speed. 3-0 M's. We got this now, baby. Let's go. Next up is Randy Arosarena. And obviously walking intentionally to Julio Rodriguez, that cost him, because it could have been maybe 2-0, but they made a mistake, and now it's 3. I love it. Let's go. Suter on the mound, Arosarena in the box. First pitch is fouled off by Randy, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, fouled off again, out of play, four-seam fastball, 87 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arosarena. Let's fucking go. Hell yeah. It's about time something went our fucking way. It's been rough, starting off 3-4 and having so many guys slumping. 0-2 pitch, fouled off, 87 miles an hour there by Suter. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Top of the 10th inning. Mariners putting up a 3 spot here in the top of the 10th. Trident's up. 0-2 pitch, high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arosarena. One-two pitch, and Randy crushes that towards third base and foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arosarena. And again, Naylor is starting to heat up. The last few games, he was one of the last guys to get a hit besides Rep Snyder, and he's been able to get a hit in the last few games, and he's been clutch. Randy, hard hit ball into right field. Let's go. Here we go. It's about time that some other pitcher on another team shit the bed, instead of us shitting the bed. Let's go. And now we're on a nice rally here in the top of the 10th. Nice job, Randy. Uncle Mo is a thing. Momentum is real. Arosarena single to right, Naylor to second with 2 outs. Next up is Leo Rivas. Let's go. Suter on the mound, Rivas now in the box. The only downside is that Brendan Donovan might be hurt. They had Rivas come in for him. They didn't say anything for like 2-3 innings, and then he wasn't in the dugout. So that most likely means he's getting an MRI or something happens. So hopefully it's not anything besides cramps, but we won't know until we go to the injury report tomorrow morning. And hopefully it's something minor, just like a couple days rather than, 15-day IL or something. So first pitch, low and at the knees to Leo Rivas, changeup, 77 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking with the sinker down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike to Leo Rivas. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. High and away. Sinker 88 miles an hour there by Suter. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. 1-2 pitch. Fouls it off towards first base. Four-seam fastball 87 miles an hour there by Suter. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Mariners putting up a 3 spot. And we've held the Angels to a 1-hitter. I love it. Yeah, like I said, the only shitty thing is Donovan might be hurt. We don't know. Pitch is low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. Love it, man. It's about time that we had something go our way this season. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 2-2 pitch, and Rivas crushes that out of play. Count still remains 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. I would have been okay with just, 1 run for insurance, but to get 2 and possibly maybe even more, depending on if Suter keeps shitting the bed here. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. I don't expect Rivas to homer here or anything, but 2-2 pitch popped up and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Throw to first, and it looks like Randy is safe. What was the family emergency? Like, is his wife pregnant or something? We have a lot of Mariner players. Little slow dribbler towards third, throw to first, and they get Rivas there, and that is out number 3. We've had quite a few players end up having babies, in the offseason, 5 Mariner players, but I haven't heard anything family emergency-wise. But, hopefully it was just something, not to him personally. But great job there by the Mariners, putting up a 3 spot in the top of the 10th. And now we go to the bottom of the 10th, and we will see who is up here for Los Angeles. But again, we won't know until probably tomorrow morning on what's going on with Brendan Donovan. Donovan might have tweaked an ankle stepping on first. Oh, the play where he was trying to beat out that play that was reviewed? Maybe. That's possible. Appreciate you. Shout out to all my fans in Hawaii. Another $5 holla. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, brother. Uni boy with a $5. Appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, if Donovan is not available, depending on the significance of it, yeah, I mean, it is possible, that Colt could get the call up, even though JP ended up coming back today for his first game. So I would love to see Colt, get called up. But also, I want our guy, Donovan, not to have anything significant, but hopefully it's just minor. All right, here we go. Last but not least, for the Los Angeles Angels, they only have 1 hit today. Let's keep it that way. 0 for 3 with a K, first baseman Nolan Shonowell. Batting second in the 4-hole, DHing Jorge Soler, and batting third in the 5-hole, third baseman Yoan Moncada, unless they end up having guys pinch hit for those guys after Shonowell. And we have Gabe Spire in the game, which it makes me a little nervous. Because again, in the WBC, he would get an out, give up a home run. And then 2 games later, he would come in the WBC, get an out, give up a home run. Then he would go to spring training, get an out, and give up a home run. And then in the start of the season, he just shit the bed. He hasn't really been that great. So hopefully we get the good Gabe and not the bad Gabe. First pitch from Spire to Shonowell, and that's a good sign when he actually can get a strike on the first, pitch there, 0-1 count. And Angels lose the challenge there. Come on, Gabe. Oh, 1 pitch. Ends up being a ball there to Nolan Shonowell. Spire on the mound. Shonowell in the box. Bottom of the 10th inning, 3-0 Mariners. 1-1 pitch, slow dribbler towards first base. Naylor is there, and that is 1 away. We are 2 outs away from victory, baby. And normally, this is a rival of ours, right? We know how tough it is to win against the Angels and the Athletics. And we know that with the Rangers, who we have next after the Angels, starting on, I believe, Monday, it's not going to be easy playing them either, as well as the Astros. But again, records sometimes go out the window, but I'm really proud of the Mariners here tonight. First pitch from Spire to Jorge Soler. No pinch hitter at the moment. 0-1 count. And Soler is 0 for 3 with the K. Soler in the box and Gabe Spire on the mound. So far, so good for Gabe. 0-1 pitch, hard hit ball crushed into right field. And Rayleigh is hustling and foul territory, and he's got it, baby. That's 2 away. Mike Trout tags up from third and scores. 3-1 Mariners. I was really hoping that they wouldn't score anything, but I mean, as long as we win, right? So 3-0, 3-1, who cares? As long as we get this fucking dub. All right, 2 away. We're 1 out away from victory. Appreciate you, Hawks. All right, Yoan Moncada, no pinch hitter for him here either. First pitch, and that is hit behind the plate to the FBM sign. 0-1 count. Bottom of the 10th inning, Mariners up 3-1. And again, this is a game that we had to win. I mean, Brian Wu has a 1-hitter. Do you know how depressing it would be for us to lose this game? But again, it was going to be whoever's, bullpen was going to be better. And I mentioned that in the broadcast. If our bullpen was going to be good, we were going to win this game. And that's what essentially has happened. with potentially one more strike. Big swing and a miss there by Moncada. No balls and 2 strikes from Spire to Moncada. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Spire to Moncada. But again, Wu was great, 1 hitter. Brash was fantastic. Mooney struck out the side, which is rare. And now we have Spire trying to finish it off. 1-2 pitch, foul behind the plate. Count now still as 1 ball and 2 strikes to Yoan Moncada. And obviously I'll be live tomorrow as well. And I think the only 2 games that I'm going to miss this year, on Easter, I'm going to visit family. So the game is on at like 1 o'clock Pacific. I won't be back in time for that. And then obviously on the 4th of July, I'm going to be going to the game at T-Mobile versus the Blue Jays. But other than that, we'll be doing 160 out of 162 games. Pitch is low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Yoan Moncada. 2-2 pitch, high and inside. Count now is full. Come on, Gabe. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Yoan Moncada. Come on, Spire. Give me the good Gabe, you Pat McAfee lookalike. 3-2 pitch. Got him! Are they going to challenge? Okay, they're challenging the strike 3 call. And it is strike 3, and the Mariners win. Let's go. All right, let's go over the stats, here real quick. And then we'll call it a day. And then obviously I'll be live tomorrow and on Sunday as well. So we'll go over the Angels first, and then we'll go over the Mariners. So Zach Neto 0 for 4, Trout 0 for 2, Shawnuel 0 for 4, Soler 0 for 3, Moncada 0 for 4. I like the sound of that. Joe Adell 0 for 3, Josh Lowe 0 for 3, Logan O'Hoppe 0 for 3, and the only player to get the 1 fucking hit for the Angels, Oswald Peraza, the former Yankee and now Angel, 1 for 3. That's it. And then let's go to the Mariners. And obviously our numbers really weren't great until getting towards the end, but we did a lot better than the Angels. So Ref Snyder went 0 for 3, but had a couple walks, probably his most productive game. Cal 0 for 4, got to be better, big dumper. Julio 1 for 4, Josh Naylor fighting himself, 2 for 5. And let's take a look at everyone else here. And then Randy Arosarena, 2 for 4. Brendan Donovan, 0 for 3. Might have tweaked the ankle. Hopefully he's okay after that hard run to first where they reviewed it. Maybe that's where he got hurt. Leo Rivas, 0 for 2. J.P. Crawford in his first game back, 0 for 3. Victor Robles, 1 for 3. Luke Raley, 0 for 1. And Cole Young, 1 for 4. And so just a quick recap in the matchup. So obviously, Cole Young, when the game was 0-0 in the top of the 10th, Young tripled to right, almost hit a home run. The ball was dropped in right field. Raley hustled from second base as the ghost runner and scored. Young got the triple, 1-0 Mariners, thank God. Then Naylor comes up, singles to right. Cole Young scores from third. Julio scores from second, 3-0 Mariners. And then just a few minutes ago, Jorge Soler sac fly to right. Trout scored, making it 3-1, and that's the final in 10. So again, great job. Gabe Spire ends up getting the save. Mooney got the win, but who really deserved the win? Brian Wu. But again, we weren't able to put up any runs when he was in, which is a damn shame. But at the end of the day, Cole Young, probably the best overall player for the Mariners offensively, and he's one of the best defensive players on the Mariners this year, comes up as a hero again. And again, shout out to Cole Young, and maybe we'll see one of his buddies, Colt Emerson, get called up as early as tomorrow, depending on what's going on with Brendan Donovan. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully it's just something minor, but prayers up to Donnie. Hopefully he's all right. And again, I'll be live tomorrow for game number 2 in the set between the Mariners and the Angels. We get to 500. Angels drop down to 3-5. Mariners are 4-4. And appreciate every single person that liked, sub, donated, commented, shared. Appreciate you. TJ got it started off with a tour. Logan with a $5. Mike with a tour. 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 And then my boy, Uni Boy from Hawaii with a $5. Appreciate you guys. But the most important thing is that the Mariners and Cole Young got the victory for us. Shout out to our boy, Cole Young. I'm so proud of you. And shout out to the Mariners for grinding out this victory. Final score, Mariners 3, Angels 1 in 10 innings. And I will be live tomorrow. Come through and hang out. And let's see if the Mariners can get another victory. And let's let's get our prayers up for Brendan Donovan. Hopefully he is okay as well. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very much. And I got one question for you. Who you know talk sports like us? Your boy Orion, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Final score, Mariners 3, Angels 1 in 10. Tridents up, and I am out. Go Mariners.